We were live.
Evening.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Saturday night's Claret and Booze Up, shifted as a one-off from our usual Friday night slot. No John this week, but myself and Gary are joined by familiar faces and friends of the show, Dave and Mike. Dave, how are you this evening, mate?
Evening, you all right?
You're good. You recovered from the game today now?
Yeah.
No. Mike, what about you, mate? You all right? No, that's good. That's good.
No, I'm not.
That's good. That's good. Right, Gary, how are you? Have you calmed down now? Have you warmed up? It was bloody cold over there today, wasn't it?
Well, it's 23 degrees inside my nice toasty bunker, so I'm all right. But yeah, it was. I was the only one that didn't get wet today. I mean, you and Paul were saturated, weren't you?
Absolutely. I mean, and that added to my fury, to be honest. I was fucking fuming. Why have we got to queue up twice to get into that place?
It's
the
difficult.
The second queue is, are you fucking sure? You really want to go in?
Exactly. Yeah, I know. I wish they'd turned me away, to be honest. Okay, well,
you must be this close to pass this point.
Sorry, I can't come on and be like that straight away because I was accused of being a right miserable fucker during the week.
Mate,
it's better that people get to know you, Dave.
I think you're in good company tonight, Dave. You're in good company, mate.
No, it's a fair point.
Okay, well, the agenda for today is as follows. We're going to get into talking about some obvious issues at West Ham that I feel are the root cause of what is, it feels like a sustained period of shit performances now. Even when we win or draw, it feels like we're nicking points. Now, I genuinely can't remember the last good, entertaining team performance. So we're going to spend a bit of time dissecting that and less time reviewing another wanker of a game that saw us draw 1-1 at home to 16th place Newcastle. Without Alan Saint-Maximin, Trippier, Wilson.
Yeah.
It just winds me up thinking about it. But then we're going to move on to the juicy bit. The player ratings, and yes, the donkeys are going to be used tonight, 100%.
Yeah.
All right? I've already made loads of duplicates as well, so we've got plenty of them. And then once we've put that steaming pile of shit of a game to bed, Gary's got 3 news stories for us to discuss, and then once that's done, we're going to have a collaborative workshop session, right, where we look at the squad and have a go at selecting a new shape, and we're each going to have a go at basically giving Moyes a fucking idea away from his single plan that he's got. So we're each going to have a go at selecting our own shape, our own lineup, and then we're going to basically email that off or fax it or send it by carrier pigeon to David Moyes. So moving swiftly on to the root causes of what I feel are West Ham's kind of deterioration of form and what feels like our imminent slide from the top 6 to the nothingness of mid-table. Not to be too miserable or anything, you know what I mean? It's just kind of the way. I think most of us feel that way now, though. Is that fair?
Yes,
would you say?
Yeah. I'd be surprised if we finish above 8th this season.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think you're right. Okay. Expectations are a lot higher than they have been in years, but rightly so.
That's right. So, Tomas Soucek. Simple question. What the fuck has happened to Tomas Soucek? To you, Gary.
What has happened to him? I mean, when he first arrived last year, as we know, he was like the set piece king, and he was considered to be an attacking midfielder for the first half of the season. The first half of the season, it was working a treat. He was scoring for fun. The team seemed to be shaped around him. He was looking like a real top signing, wasn't he? And then Declan Rice progressed. He progressed. I mean, it was the second half of last season where Lingard took the mantle and other attacking players started getting in on the active scoring goals. And then there was the Euros in the summer where he played a full part, Soucek, for Czech Republic. And then he's come back this season, firstly looking absolutely knackered, but secondly, there seems to be a tug of war going on in midfield between him and Declan Rice about who's going to be the advanced midfielder, who's going to play further up the pitch. And it seems to change on a daily basis. And, I think me and you picked out the strength of Soucek today in a game, right? Because there was one example of where he did, and there was literally only one example of where he did the right thing. And the right thing for Soucek is to be a midfield destroyer, to win the ball and to give it to someone who can play, right? Quickly, to lay off the ball quickly. As soon as he starts to think, right, I'm going to move forward with the ball, I'm going to progress, I'm going to try and find a cute pass or something like that, other players shut him down, he panics like a deer in the headlights and loses the ball. In addition to that today, he wasn't winning half of his 50-50s, and that's the reason he's there. I mean, he's there as the destroyer, that's the way I see him anyway. So I think that is between, I think we've got to go back to basics with Soucek and get him to play to his strengths. And his strengths are, as far as I'm concerned, is a very basic break up the opposition play and give the ball to someone that can play.
Do you profile Soucek as an attacking midfielder?
No.
Me? No, I don't.
No.
I think.
Do you know what, Mike Brennan? You kind of took the words out of my mouth then when you said about Fellaini.
That's how he came in, and that's what everyone thought he was.
But he is definitely digressed into a player that with limited ability, which is a worry.
He has, yeah, and like I say, people keep on sort of they touch on the fact that could be fatigue. I mean, it could be mental and physical exhaustion. It could be that. It could be, it could be that. But at the same time, I think what's happened is I think Declan Rice has. I think we'll all agree Rice has gone to another level this year, isn't he? He's improved, and it does feel a little bit like there is a bit of a tug of war going on between them two, and there can't be a tug of war because Rice he controls our play. He sits in the middle of the park. Soucek's job, if it's going to be a sustainable relationship, and it still could be an amazing partnership, I think, is Soucek, his strengths are defensive. I think Dec does now. He'll always do defensive work, Dec, but I think he's that good driving forward. I think we almost need someone to be a sweeper behind him.
Was Soucek's goals last year masking judgment, cloud judgment?
Definitely, yeah.
That's what I think.
Did we avoid something that was there and kind of were blinded to it?
People are living on that, Dave. People are still quoting that. Look at what he did when he arrived. But very well, other Premier League sides, they are cute. They watch games. They watch other players, and they learn how to play against them. And basically, what he offers us now is a threat from a set piece and nothing else in an attacking sense. That's what I say.
Not even that anymore.
But I think what it is as well. I think we look at him in kind of a sentimental way because you can't look past what he brought to West Ham when he came in. He added legs to our team. It helped David Moyes change the philosophy of West Ham. At the time, it was a tremendous signing, and he did do it was brilliant for us, wasn't he? But I don't quite know how we're going to get back to that because look, I suppose no one's going to be smiling. He will know he's not playing well at the minute. He's a top class player. He will know that at the moment his level is not right. But you can tell by his body language, he doesn't look happy at the minute. To me, he doesn't. He looks panicked.
He looks panicked and rushed a lot. He sliced at a clearance in the second half that was horrendous. In the middle of the penalty box, it went 2 or 3 yards and dropped to a Newcastle player. That weren't Soucek last year. There's a massive confidence thing with him.
I think there is that as well. I think you're right. And like I say, David Moyes, it ain't just Tomas Soucek. Going over to Dave now with Soufal. What are your thoughts on Soufal? I mean, what has happened to him? He came in, he was a revelation.
Like Gary's just pointed out, teams are quick to work out, where our strengths are and where our weaknesses are. And Soufal, and I might be. I've always looked at him and thought, he's a good player. He's not excellent, and if somebody gets at him, he's in trouble. He's not quick.
Yeah.
I think he opens himself up to a winger. He's very front on defensively. Good fullbacks who have a side on stance.
Yeah.
He doesn't strike me as a fantastic defender.
Like now, Johnson, when someone's 1-on-1 with Johnson jockeys, doesn't he?
Johnson in the first 2 minutes of coming on today made two blocks, and all of a sudden Newcastle were looking to play down the right.
Yeah.
So it changed their way of playing. I mean, don't get me started on Moyes selecting Fred. Doing a bit. But yeah, Soufal is not. He's a good player. He's not outstanding. He won't improve. He won't get better than what we've seen in the past 12, 18 months with him.
He hasn't.
And he's been targeted. Defenders are attackers are targeting him.
Yeah, I think there is also something to be said as well, because obviously Bowen is flourishing this year, and the reason that Bowen is flourishing and he's assisting and he's scoring is because he isn't as much tracking back and doing a Fornell's job with Cresswell. He's concentrating on getting forward, which means that the fullback has got to be self-sufficient. He's not going to have his hand held as much. And I think that is part of the problem as well.
And it's possible that the shake up with the two centre halves has definitely not helped.
No,
we miss Ogbonna actually a lot more than I thought we would.
Yeah.
He is despite his age still our best centre half. I like Zuma, but I'd pick Ogbonna ahead of Zuma.
Well, we felt the pieces when Oggy got injured, didn't we?
Yeah. Do you know what? I was thinking about that earlier, and actually Liverpool was the last performance where we really, really looked decent. We've had a few games where we've been all right in spells, but that was the last game where we were really good, and no coincidence that was the last time Ogbonna played for us.
Coincidentally, that game that was Kretinsky's his introduction to West Ham, wasn't it? That was he was at that game, and was that on the eve of him buying a stake in the club, or had he bought?
I think that was just ahead of it, wasn't it? It was kind of during the rumour. But going back to Soufal,
due diligence stage, wasn't it?
Going back to Soufal, I don't think it's just it's easy to highlight him and say he's been poor, which he has, but it's coincided with the rest of the team being pretty poor.
It has.
He's not the only one. So
yeah, I do. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, well that's enough for Soufal.
Hang on a minute before we get lost. Before we start on Antonio, let's catch up on the comments, right?
Yeah, go on.
So a few more because I'm driving them tonight. We haven't been any good since Liverpool. I agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Not completely anyway. Phil Pitt, Nemo and the Pirate, my brothers. I saw two more of your brothers today at football with Mike and Scott, Phil. So the game was shockingly bad. Moyes crippled the team by not investing in improving. Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think we're in trouble. I think we'll be fine, but I think we're looking at like a 10th place finish now rather than where we could have been.
I think our push for a top six is in trouble.
I think that is, and I think our push for the Europa League is in trouble as well.
Yeah.
From Tom, Soucek and Antonio are so poor technically, it's embarrassing. Well, we're going to cover Antonio in a minute, but we're shocking at retaining the ball, and it's those two that are the main reason for it. And I think you're right. I mean, we'll come to Antonio in a minute, but it was one quality crossfield ball from Antonio straight to the opposition today. It was amazing.
But that was a promising attack as well, wasn't it, Gary? And he was just literally such a lazy pass.
Yeah, it was. And then Amit goes, this is all on Moyes, Divering Dave. Yeah. And then I agree with the Benrahma frustration of being subbed again. Well, I don't know. We're going to come to Benrahma later. I mean, look, you're either a Benrahma fan or you're not. And if you're a fan, then you're going to stick up for him every step of the way. What I saw today was not a good performance from Benrahma. I saw a couple of good things in the first half, and then I saw him pulling out of lots of challenges, one on one side of the pitch, shortly followed by one on the other side of the pitch, a 50-50 that he didn't fancy.
I
can see why he gets frustrated, but there was a bit of a to-do between him and Moyes when he got substituted, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Have you seen that the footage slowed down? He says to him every time, doesn't he? As he walks past him, says every time.
Well, you know what happened. You know what happened is that the ball's gone up for Benrahma. Benrahma has gone. We're trying to win the game apparently, and he's gone on the slowest walk off the pitch. And Moyes almost came on the pitch to drag him off. He was like on his way, and by the time he got to Moyes, they were both fuming, and that's when it doesn't come across as a happy camp in that respect. Sorry, go on.
No, we'll touch on Benrahma later. I'll save it till then.
Yeah, Soucek scored goals for fun last season. Yes, he did in the first half of last season. The switching roles has meant, with Rice has meant, all we now do is a bang average centre midfielder. I don't agree with it. Yeah, I don't quite see it like that. I see Rice as an elite midfielder who has got to take priority surely over.
And also one more thing, Tom. The fact of the matter is, he is still getting forward every bit as much as he was. If he was a central defensive midfielder, he wouldn't be running 15 kilometres in a game. And if you have a look at his stats, he's played 24 games. He's had 35 shots on goal, and he's only scored 3. He's still getting in positions, but he ain't converting. That ain't Rice's fault.
No, that's
Rice
right.
is becoming almost Gerrard, isn't he? This is what you're getting now.
Yeah.
No, I agree, and you've only got to look at the Kidderminster performance. That was Gerrard. That was typical Gerrard. Soucek is a Poundland midfielder. I don't know about that. I think that's a bit unfair to him, but I think he's playing in a position, or he's playing with responsibility.
He looks like he is at the moment. He looks like he is.
Yeah. Moyes has got to decide what competition he wants to be in because we've not got a squad. Yeah, I agree with that. But he's just going to play the same first team for every game, isn't he? Maybe he needs a rest. I think he's talking about Soucek. Yeah, he probably does. Moyes out from Hammerhead. Well,
not yet.
No, not yet.
Seriously, that's a head's gone fucking comment.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah.
I don't know who Hammerhead is, and I don't want to offend you, but seriously, have a look in the mirror.
Yeah,
come on.
And then so I didn't know that Soucek had a potential stomach issue and might need an operation. Yeah, it could be why he's not playing well. I don't know. I haven't heard that. It's the first time I've heard it, Claire. Teams press us. Yes. Look, we've all noticed this. That the high press that they play against us stops our two wingers from being effective. And yet we carry on with the same approach time after time.
The same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Right. Okay. That's it. We're caught up. Let's go on. Oh, sorry. That was from John. That's from Absent John. Absent John says, we're going to discuss Antonio. Yes, we are, John. Now.
There we go. Right, next one. Right, Mike. Mikel Antonio. Now, for me, this is, like I say, this is a bit of a sensitive one for me because I adore Mikel Antonio. I love his journey through football. I would never question his commitment to the cause or to the club or anything like that. I don't put anything he's formed down to him being lazy or anything like that. But what has happened to Antonio at the minute? What
Jamaica.
It can't just be that, mate. It can't just be
12,000 mile round trips. It's going to take a toll on his body.
Yeah, but he's recovered now. He's just had a week off. He's come back and from the last game. He's had a week's recovery, and he's the same. If not, he was worse this week, in my opinion.
He's an instinctive player, isn't he? As soon as he has to think about something, that's it. He's gone. Most of his goals that he scores, apart from the one at Leeds, which we discussed earlier in the season, where he actually took it past and opened his body up and beat the keeper. Most of his goals are instinctive things. Like today, he had the chance to shoot. He fought again. Then the defender blocked him. He's just, I don't know. He's just.
No,
I love him to bits. When we signed him, I thought, I can't wait to see this bloke play because everything I'd seen of him in the Championship, he was just like that sort of player we love. He would just run and run and run. He's just there. He's got the physique, that sort of thing. I think I just don't know what's happened to him. He's just, I think it is Jamaica, to be fair.
Do you think it's fair in being singled out by Moyes in a press conference when Moyes hasn't gone out and bought a backup striker?
But then Moyes said, I think that Bowen is the backup. So if that's
then
the case,
why the fuck? Yeah, exactly.
You've got Hook Antonio. When Antonio's not playing well, take him off. Don't keep the poor fucker out there.
Yeah, and I think John's comment about saying hanging him out to dry is exactly right. He's been hung out to dry.
That's how I feel.
It's frustrating. There was times today though. You cannot fault his effort today, and I don't care who watched that game. Despite when he had that shot that knocked the cameraman out, who was up in the gods. That poor old fucking astronaut's going to be clobbered again, isn't he? But you can't fault his work rate, and I thought today was a better. You seem to think it was worse than last week.
I think it was. I mean, his quality, Dave. His quality.
Yeah, no, I thought his work rate was improved today.
It's not there. He's out on the wing. What's he doing out there? He's crossing the ball into the box, and there's no one there to get it.
I can't believe. Go on, sorry, Dave.
It's probably as frustrated as everyone else. He's not getting the ball in good positions to be that instinctive striker. So strikers will go looking for the ball, away from the middle of the pitch.
Well, look, do you know something? In the game. But do you know something? The last time that Antonio had a good delivery and a good chance to score was New Year's Day, Crystal Palace, when Benrahma put that ball in and he scored.
Yeah.
He doesn't really there isn't really a supply line there. And that is why Antonio does get frustrated because quite often he's up there. And the thing is, we're saying the same things about Antonio now that we were saying about Haller and probably whoever was on him before. It goes back to that old adage, it is West Ham, the way that we play. Yeah. Are we going to be a graveyard for strikers? Is every striker that plays for us in this system going to struggle?
Doesn't go well for Bowen, then does it?
Listen, I agree with Mike. I think he has put now. Listen, we've had this conversation many times before. A player is entitled to play for their country, right, and play international football. That is their entitlement, right?
Yeah.
But by agreeing to play for Jamaica, when you look at the workload, the sheer volume of games and where those games are located in this most critical of seasons, I think he has basically he's swapped priorities. West Ham is not his priority. Jamaica is his priority. And I agree with Mike. Ever since he went on that first trip, that first long set of 3 games for Jamaica, he's been poor. He's looked like he's been treading water. And I think I can always tell with Antonio when he first starts running around in a game, whether he's running freely or whether he's labouring. And to me, today, you can't quibble about the guy's work rate. I agree with that. He always tries hard. But you can tell very early on whether he's labouring or not. And today he was labouring. The last game he was labouring, and that is, what did he do? A couple of weeks ago, he was doing another massive 3-centre trip and probably a week to get over the jet lag. When you're talking about the time zones that he was flying out.
I think it is more than that, though, Gary. I think when you look at him today, like the effort is there. I think he has to be 110% to be any good. This is the trouble with Antonio, right? Because he's got no. When you play up front, it's a very It's like being in defence. It's an unforgiving position. If you make a mistake, it's polarised. You don't score. It's your fault. If you don't control the ball, if a defender, if they miscontrol the ball, it could lead to a goal. With Antonio at the moment, he's playing up against big, strong defenders. He can't hold the ball up. He's passing. He's today particularly his passing was woeful. It was really bad. So for me. It strikes me, and like you said earlier on about Soucek and Soufal, Dave, it could be a confidence thing because I think, like I said, Antonio, he's got to be 110%. He's got to be right physically, and he's got to be right mentally. If there's something not quite right with him, then that is the type of player that we can expect. And I don't think that someone like as sensitive as what he clearly is. I don't agree with what Moyes did in the press.
No, that's not good.
I really don't. I really don't.
Am I being old-fashioned? Sorry, am I being old-fashioned? But you're saying, but his pass and all that's awry. But I want my number 9 to be in the box, not out on the wing passing the ball. He needs people passing the ball into him.
You don't know what his job is, though, Mike. You don't know
he's not a natural forward. He's spent his career.
He's supposed to be our centre forward.
Mike, he's spent his career at West Ham playing in a multitude of different positions. Yeah, so nothing comes natural to him. No. The only time he looks natural is when he gets the ball out wide and can take a player on. He is not a centre forward. He's not. We have because Bowen is more effective coming in off the right.
Bowen's not either.
And anyone who suggests that Bowen's a forward is just going to make the same mistake as we have done with Antonio. We have no out and out centre forward in our first team squad.
No,
we don't.
I agree. And the thing is with Antonio. We can all say that. Like people say that all the time. I think it's tactical because what you see is during a game, you'll see Antonio pull out and Bowen. It looks almost quite fluid and dynamic. Bowen will pull into the middle. Antonio will go out wide. You don't know, Mike, that I'm sure if Antonio was just told to stand up front and don't run around and just be in the box, he would do that. But I don't think
I'll tell you the minutes they do that. They stop those things around on 22 minutes.
Yeah, but I don't think that's his. But I don't think that's his role. I don't think that's what David Moyes wants from him. I think he's a dog's body for the team. I think that's what he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a look at a few comments. So Amit says Antonio was terrible, but he looked injured and looks to lost half a yard. Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
I'd agree with that.
Half a yard, Yeah. Tom says loads of factors with Antonio. No competition. Yep. Tired. But also not an instinctive centre forward. No, I think we've all said that. Hard to believe we couldn't find anyone as good, if not better than him in January. Yeah, again, when you look at the Moyes method of signing people, I will not sign anybody who is, not at least as good or better than the people we've got. He's basically saying there was no striker available out there who's as good a striker as Antonio, and I find that hard to believe, I'm afraid.
Yes,
Grant says Antonio has never played this much football. Another good point, Grant, because he's had half a season off most times, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Do you know what? That is a cracking point, and we've all kind of skated around that, and that is spot on.
Yeah,
the amount of football he's played this season eclipses
It
anything.
does.
he's
It
ever
does.
done-
It all
for us.
goes back to that fucking window, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
really
yeah,
does,
definitely.
You know.
I revert to a back three. Rob says with wing backs to give us width, then let Bowen, Fornells, Lanzini play more central, and El Pantonio out. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, I think at the moment it's more important we have a solid defence. Because we're just getting undone at the back. Seriously, thought he could have hit 20 goals this season. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same here.
Club before country. I think Claire says when it's at the detriment of your own club.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
With this club before country thing, if Jamaica had a chance of qualifying for the World Cup, I'd understand it. But these are all dead rubbers he's playing.
No, but Mike, listen, if it was Declan Rice we was talking about and it was the same scenario, England were out of a competition and Rice had got called up, we wouldn't be complaining about Rice.
Rice hasn't got to travel 12,000 miles to go to a game.
I know, but Mike, the fact of the matter is, it isn't Antonio's fault that we rely on him so much, and there is no one
And
else.
they even said on the commentary today that Rice is the only player who hasn't had a detrimental offence after the Euros. So
I know. Well, he's a machine, isn't he?
And then Alex goes on, if you can't, this is one for Nick. If you can't identify a striker in 2 years, to improve the squad, I agree with that.
he had a striker.
Antonio, it's not that striker. 3 out of our 4 front 4 attacking players are out of form. I think maybe. I think we'll come talk about the game today. But I think if you look at Fornells and Bowen, I don't think they're out of form. I would have said that about Fornells before today.
And Lanzini as well. He's on form. He still plays well when he's winning.
He was a big miss. He's always a big miss because he keeps the ball for us.
I think he would have started today.
We missed that in there today.
They've abused him and abused it. I do agree with that from John.
No, that ain't right.
Right,
32 years old, reliant on physical attributes, and he has too many miles on the clock. Well, yeah. And last but not least, Bonnie Hammer. Moyes keeps flogging the same players. They're burnt out. Yep, agreed.
I agree. Okay, right. Moving on to the final talking point before we get into the match review. That's going to be fun. Right. So we've got the Moyesy system. Plan A, or the only plan that he's got. A plan that every fucking manager in world football knows about. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, guys? This is kind of for everyone on not just Moyes making the same selections week in and week out, but his refusal to change tactics. I mean, does it frustrate you? And do you think that someone needs to send Moyes a message? Perhaps, as I said earlier on, by carrier pigeon, maybe his mate Speckled Jim, Benrahma, just to let him know that the cat's out of the bag and that he's been sussed. I mean, go on, Gary, go first. What do you reckon?
I'm sure when he first came, he did flip between the 3 at the back and this formation now. But this now just seems set in stone. That's it. It's not changing whatever.
The thing that worries me is that Davy Moyes will look at this game and the last game and he'll put that down as 2 good points.
He
right?
will.
He said
He looked really chipper in the post-match interview.
And so that means because it's 2 good points, that means the system will stay exactly the same.
Oof.
The only time he tends to change system is when we're off the back of multiple defeats. That's when he tends to try something new. So at the moment, nothing will change. And yes, it frustrates the life out of me, the fact that we've just got a system and we're incapable of changing it, within a game, during a game. And we're unable to look at the opposition and decide whether that system is going to work against that opposition because it just seems to be a one-size-fits-all approach.
Looking at that graphic, though, doesn't it tell you a lot? Just like the overload in certain positions is scary.
We always used to need a right back, didn't we?
Yeah.
No.
But actually saying that, I would. I still last season Cresswell played his best football as a centre half.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. But the only issue is now, Dave. I think you need natural wing backs to play that system. I don't think now Masuaku's out. I know we've got Fredericks, but you can't play. I don't think you can play. Look, we've got Fredericks. I don't know who you play on the left as a wing back.
Yeah, I agree. But then we are pretty much stuck with this system. It's not going to change. It's not going to alter, and that's not down to. And this is Moyes' fault and the club's fault. It's not down to. I don't think a refusal to change it. It's the fact we haven't got the players.
There's no depth. Yeah, there's no
We've
depth.
got no way of changing that system. How do you go, right, let's go 2 up top. Let's go all out 4-4-2. We can't do it because we haven't got 2 players to play up front.
No, but I think there are things that we can do a little bit different. And like I say, we'll like I say, look, I'm sure I don't know as much as David Moyes, but what I would like to see every now and then, I would just like him to see him throw a curveball. Because you heard, before we played Leicester, I've said this already, but before we played Leicester, Brendan Rodgers came out and he said, we know how West Ham are going to set up. We know what their weaknesses are. And then lo and behold, Harvey Barnes, for the 65 minutes that Soufal was on the pitch, he was being targeted. Yeah. So he's going to have to start adapting because he can't expect people to not know how to play us now. He can't, and it seems like he's just doing the same thing over and over again. It's so frustrating.
As much as it pains me to say it, even Allardyce had the genius of doing the 3-6, whatever it was, 0, and going to Tottenham and doing that. It's just a curve. It's every now and often you need to do something.
Make him think about it. Give him something to think about. Yeah.
There was times today when the ball was like bypassing the centre of our midfield.
Yeah.
And I was sat there going, get fucking Noble in there. Get somebody who's going to retain the ball for us. Get somebody who's going to retain the ball. It doesn't matter how people keep saying he slows the game down. How fucking slower could it have got? Seriously, when we're playing like we did against Liverpool, 4 or 5 months ago, yes, everything was quick. You can't have Noble in that system. There's absolutely no chance. Today, I was just sitting there thinking, we just need one person on the pitch. If Lanzini's not there, Noble is the second best player in our squad who will keep the ball. I don't give a fuck if it goes to the right back, goes to the centre half, it comes back to him.
Yeah.
Keep the ball for a bit. Fucking take the pressure off ourselves, and we did not do that.
No.
I think if you were playing Noble in that role, where, for instance, Fornalzi's playing, or where Lanzini usually plays, and I think that's a valid call. But if you try to swap, for instance, Soucek out with Noble, then it all falls to pieces, right? Because he just doesn't have the legs.
No.
Yeah. Oh, great. Was there any? Sorry, Dave.
No, I agree with that, but I also the space between the distance between our centre halves and Antonio at times is ridiculous.
Oh,
How can you expect your 2 centre midfielders to make up so much ground? They need to go out there and support a forward. If the ball breaks down, they're treading fucking water. It's miles to get back.
He used to have that problem the same with Carroll, though. I always remember Carroll being so isolated up the top on his own. And there was no one there to actually.
It's a long-standing problem with West Ham and their strikers. We've said that about a lot of them, haven't we? They're
Haller as well, wasn't it? Haller needed players up around him. And
that's how it was when we had the Sacco and Valencia up front together.
So sadly, the system we're playing at the moment, where we are getting players up and around Antonio, that probably would have suited Haller down to the ground.
I think it would have. Yeah,
it is what it is.
Let's not
Don't get me started.
Yeah, I know. Is there any comments on that, Gal, before we move on?
Now you're asking. There's loads. Hang on a minute. Who mentioned cats? Cats out of the bag. Oh no,
Bad form, Stu.
Yeah. I see Stan Collymore had his say on Twitter. How many of our players will get into our competitors' team? Well, it depends what competitor you're talking about, obviously. But if you're talking about, top 6 teams, then you're probably right there. It's definitely Rice and Bowen. Maybe Zuma. He's been in one of those top 6 teams, hasn't he? Fredericks, League 2 standard. He was woeful today, and we'll cover that. Soucek was an unknown last year, and he's been worked out. If you close him down quickly, his lack of football ability is highlighted. Yes,
bang on.
Yeah,
totally agree. Phil says, although limited to some positions, we do have options in all, but the most important one, the striker spot. It's as if having a goal scorer doesn't matter. That was what that transfer window said to me. You know what I mean? Richard, does it seem that nothing has changed for us since the first game of the season? I can't make out if we're playing worse or the other teams have found us out. I think they've found us out, and I think that all started in a game that me and Nick went to down at Southampton.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite early on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For a curveball at Chelsea, 1-0 down. He hasn't changed it since. Well, do you know what? I mean, when we went 1-0 down at Chelsea, that was a game where it felt like Bowen and Antonio formed a front two. They was getting really close to each other, and that was really effective. And I think you mentioned that earlier on, Dave, didn't you? About maybe we haven't got 2 strikers there, but maybe do you know what? Just get them closer together. Try and think of a formation where you can get them closer together. Because, and the other thing that we don't do a lot as well, in that first half, I don't know if you remember. Do you know? We'll talk about the game in a minute, but there was a couple of passages of play where we got the ball forward really quickly. You had like Rice, Fornals, slide rule pass, and then a through ball for Bowen, and Bowen's in behind the fullback. We don't do that enough. We try and it's square passes, it's slow build up play. We're not direct enough. I don't think we're not direct enough, and we've got players like Bowen. Bowen's got pace. He's got pace.
No, that's right. So Ross says we dominated briefly after half time, but we just kept ruining our own chances. Newcastle didn't even need to stop us. We stopped ourselves. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, be it a poor ball or Antonio launching the ball into orbit,
or not fucking launching it at all.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So anyway, look, let's move on to the match review, Nick.
Okay, all right, no worries. Well, as you all know, we faced off against Newcastle in the 12:30 kickoff at the Thunderdome. Starting lineups, gentlemen. What were your thoughts on this when you saw this? Dave, go on. What were your thoughts on that?
I had no issue with that at all, apart from the guy wearing number 24.
24. That was what I was. That was my gripe, because we all predicted that Johnson would be coming in. I mean, how the fuck Johnson has ended up 3rd choice right back? I have no clue.
I mean, Al Fredericks is ahead of Harrison Ashby.
I know. It's bizarre.
I was all right when I came on the call. I was all right. I'm fucking livid again thinking about him playing, because it's a suicidal decision, and that's all on Moyes. All of it is on Moyes.
Yeah. But then when you look at that, I mean, look at that Newcastle team. No Alan Saint-Maximin, no Trippier, no Wilson. You look at that. I'm sorry. They should have been there for the fucking taking today. Yeah. They really should have been. You know, Benrahma should have been absolutely terrorising Kraft, but he didn't really. He didn't have the worst game in the world. But like I said, my problem with Benrahma is he'll do 2 good things and 5 bad things.
He's an impact player as a sub, isn't he?
Yeah,
I think he's. Sorry,
just for the sake of just for the sake of a little bit of. I know we're not neutral, but I thought Newcastle were excellent today.
Yeah, they were.
I thought, despite them having players out injured, Eddie Howe has done a job. Eddie Howe has done a job on Moyes today.
Yeah. Oh, massively.
His stock's going to rise again now, isn't it?
This comment has come into the chat twice now, according from the day's banter. I don't know.
But I've heard this story before. It's a long-standing story.
Johnson off to Arsenal. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he can walk away. That's the thing. I think we've got an option on him, and we've got an option of another year. So I don't think he can just go.
Yeah, but Gary, you only trigger that option so you can sell him, because you're not going to keep him for a year and then let it run down again, are you? You're only going to trigger that option to buy a year if you're going to sell him in that window.
Yeah, but nonetheless, we do not need to sell him this summer. We do not need to give him away to Arsenal this summer.
If you don't want to lose him on a free, you've got to sell him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I listen. What really.
That comment Alex has put about rejected 2 new contracts is too familiar.
Yeah. The thing that really wound me up is that Johnson did nothing to get dropped in the first place, right? No. And now it's taken an appalling first half by Soucek and an appalling first half by Fredericks for him to get his chance again. Absolutely. How the bloody hell has he been out of the team for so long?
Yeah, that bothers me a lot. It really does. And that means there's something off the pitch.
It's something not right there. And like I say, but you know what? I think, I mean, we will go into it in more detail. But when you've got this closed shot mentality that David Moyes has got, where he clearly got his favourites, Now, that's going to work for so long. But then do you know what? Once these favourites start going like Soucek, when they have consistent runs of bad form, do you know what? That is going to breed resentment in the second string. They're going to go, what the fuck have I got to do to get a start here?
But then that happened when Soucek was out injured. And then when he came back and sat on the bench for a couple of games, he spat his dummy out. Then
He
all of a
went
sudden,
on check radio, didn't he?
yeah.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden he came back. He comes back in.
Soufal.
So was Johnson had a little bit of a mutter behind closed doors.
I don't know, but that was I remember that.
I can't work it out, Gary. I cannot work out how
I remember
that
that.
guy
What
is
you
on the
said,
bench.
Dave. I remember what he did. Soufal. He went because he was dropped for like 2 games. He got injured. Johnson came in, did a fabulous job, right? So Soufal didn't deserve his place back. The next thing you know, Soufal is talking to the Czech press saying he hasn't got the motivation to train anymore, to do this, to do that. He cannot understand how he hasn't got his place back. Well, you don't get your place back because the guy that came in to replace you when you were injured, he's playing well. And that's the law of the jungle, mate. That's the way it is.
Soufal's just had a new contract.
Yeah.
I don't think that, but I don't think the contract plays into it. I don't think people go, I've got a new contract.
It just reminds me of Schemmel when Schemmel was absolutely world class. And then as soon as he signed the contract.
Curse of the right back.
Schemmel.
But still going back to that, Dave, what you said there, I mean, you know, Czech went on. He went to the press. He went to the media. If Johnson's gone behind closed doors to have a moan to Moyes, well, that's the way you do it.
Of course,
that's a respectful way to do it. You go and talk. You don't broadcast it out in public like that. That is.
He's been at the club 15 years or something today.
Since the age of 6 or something.
7, yeah.
Ridiculous. Can't be letting him go. He's a good player, and do you know what? Yes, he is lacking a little bit in the forward sense. But as a defender, he's spot on. His game will develop.
Of course it will.
I
want my defenders to be able to defend. Yeah. We've got the fucking polar opposite in Ryan Fredericks, who as his trade is a defender, can't fucking defend. Imagine sending a brickie onto site who fucking is trying to put bricks upside, long ways, because that's what that comes. Oh, sorry.
What we've ended up with,
you're on the lazy day.
Right? We've ended up with 2 fullbacks, and I include Cresswell in this. We've ended up with 2 regular fullbacks in Cresswell and Soufal, who need a player in front of them to help them out.
They do.
Yeah.
And that takes our attacking threat away. Isn't
that the modern game? I think that's partly the modern game, though.
It's partly the modern game, but they're not self-sufficient. You cannot have a player running at Cresswell or a player running at Soufal, as we've seen.
But then again, everyone says that what's his name, Trent at Liverpool's world class. Are you saying in defend?
I think the difference is, Dave, Trent Alexander-Arnold is probably a world-class winger, so he's great at
I agree.
But then Fredericks came out and said that this week, didn't he? He said that fullbacks now are supposed to be wingers.
Yeah.
That's and he started as a winger. That's him sort of bigging his stock up, saying I need to step forward more.
He did say that. He came out and said fullbacks are wingers and also shit at defending.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the game then, Nick.
Go on. Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, well, I'm not going to go through it step by step and relive the entire thing.
Please don't.
For 10 minutes, we were shit, and we were being pegged back by Newcastle, and then we did start to slowly get into the game, and we created a few chances. The first memorable one was on 20 minutes. Bowen found himself in behind target after a nice through ball. That's what I was talking about earlier on from Benny. And I think it was a great strike. It was like a volley on his right foot, and Dubravka tips it onto the bar. It was a really good opportunity. But then not much else happened until Antonio did kind of one of his rare pieces of good work on the left hand side, well, on our right hand side, and which brought a foul, and that resulted in a free kick, and that was a goal. Cresswell clipped in a lovely ball into the corridor of uncertainty, as they call it. And Dawson came in, didn't he? Came in like a wrecking ball again. 2 goals in 2 games. What a signing, Dave! Dave, talk to me.
When you say that,
I love Dawson. He's everything I want in a footballer. You go back to like my heroes of like West Ham past, players like George Paris who weren't technically brilliant.
Absolute favourite.
He even Dixie to some degree. He was a better footballer than George Paris, but even still, them players they would run through brick walls for you, and that's what Dawson does. He'll stick his head in where it hurts, and he's a fucking lovely man.
Shoulder.
He is. It was a really good header as well. It
was. I can picture Claire now screaming at the scream.
and then you know what? The obvious happened. You know, we knew it was going to happen. They equalised just before half-time, the same time as last week at Leicester. You know, Fraser clips the ball in. Rice, for the briefest of moments, you know, he turns into Soucek and makes a real hash of the header, and then Willock nips in to score.
But watch that goal. Watch that goal back, and Soucek and Fredericks, no communication at all.
No,
you know, what you've got to have it. Both of them went left. They got sold a dummy. Both of them went the same way. Player goes the other way, gets the ball in.
Our defence wasn't that bad like that last season. It's like this sort of deterioration, this cone of West Ham ignorance that just makes good players go shit.
Yeah.
We've always got a weak link in defence lately, right? One game it's Diop, then it's Arthur, then it's Cresswell, then it's Soufal, then it's Fredericks. We've always got a weak link.
Yeah, no, we have. You know, like I say, half time, 1-1. Gary, you know, talk to me. Not focusing on the players, but what were your thoughts on the first half?
Listen, I was absolutely gutted for a start that we conceded right on half time. I thought it was a reasonably okay first half. I thought there were some poor performances out there. We picked out Soucek as having an absolute mare. We picked out Benrahma for doing his heart of a goldfish kind of you know, bravery. You know, there was having said that, Benrahma played one or two little balls through the centre that were cute.
He did.
We were unlucky a few times. I thought we had some good possession. I thought we were worthy of the 1-0 winner, 1-0 lead at half time. Right, that's what I thought. And it was flashbacks to Leicester.
Yeah, that's how it felt to me as well. Okay, well, look, let's get through the game so we can get into the player ratings. Went into the second half. Moyes brought on Johnson for Fredericks, who should have been starting the game, as we've just said. And then on about 75 minutes, Moyes make a tactical masterstroke by removing one ineffective left winger for another one in Vlasic. And, well, we finished the second half without a single shot on target. I only found out that's that earlier on.
We had 72 minutes on Moyes' sub bingo.
Yeah. So Dave, go on, you go first. Just give us your brief thoughts on the game overall.
That's it.
Just briefly, not good enough. It's the ball retention thing two things: ball retention and switching off. You can't switch off in the last minute of the first half. 2 weeks on the trot. And give away sloppy goals like that. It's just not good enough. And I put this one on Moyes today. I didn't last week, but today I do by starting a player who isn't up to playing Premier League football. No. You know, as simple as that. He was getting roasted, and we should have learnt last week after Leicester that we're getting targeted out wide. Newcastle come along today and think, well, they're not playing Soufal, but they're playing a bloke that hardly ever plays. You know, his challenge when he got booked just summed him up. Hopelessly out of position.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's disappointing. It's more than disappointing. It's fucking awful. But
that's fine. That's and Mike, go on. What are your final thoughts on the game?
I'm not accepting the point at home against Newcastle as a good result. I can't. We're supposed to be up there challenging. I know we're not used to being in this position, but this is the second season in a row we've been in this position, so we need to start getting used to it.
Yeah.
And people to say like, oh well, yeah, they're getting better. No, we're at home. We're the attacking team. They beat us in every bloody department today. We were probably, like I'm sure Phil said to me on the chat earlier, that we're lucky that Newcastle were happy with a point. He's right. Because they could have won that quite easily. We don't do well with lunchtime kickoffs. We know that. We all hate them.
No.
But it was just, once again, a really slack performance from us. And there's been too many recently.
There has been too many. Go on, Gal. Go on, you finally. I'm not going to do mine because
it turned out, look, it started off okay. It started off promising. It turned out to be a really, really frustrating afternoon where I think towards the end, we were expecting them to nick it, right? I was really disillusioned with our forward play. It was just so we get crowded out so easily. It seems to be the standard tactics of the opposition that we play week in, week out. It doesn't matter what colour shirt they wear; they seem to crowd us out. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to our forward play. There doesn't seem to be a strategy, except when it's on a set piece, right?
No.
And yeah, we I thought a few people played well. We'll come to the player ratings, in a minute. I thought a few players played well, but a few players let us down badly. And I think that, I'm gonna be critical of Moyes again for selecting Fredericks, because when we did the team selected the other night, we didn't have Fredericks in the lineup. We had Johnson in the lineup, didn't we? That's who we thought would play and who deserved to play. And I think if that had happened from the off, then we go into half time 1-0 up. So that one's on Moyes for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Okay. And we have been joined by Soucek's #1 fan, otherwise known as Stelios. It looks like he's stuck in his face at the moment. Are you ready, Stel? You are. Okay. We're going to bring.
Always ready. He's born ready.
Going to bring Stel in. Right, Stelios. Meet Mike and Dave first of all.
Good evening, Mike. Good evening, Dave. How are you?
Good, Stelios. All good. All good.
Right, Stel. I don't know whether you caught all that, mate. We're
just
about to move on to player ratings. See if you can basically. I liked your voice note that you sent me earlier on, but just give us that again. Your final thoughts on the game.
Oh, I don't remember what I said about 2 hours ago, mate. But
you said Soucek was shit and he should be dropped and never play again.
I didn't say that, but I know that's what you want me to have said. It's kind of you guys have summed it up. First half we looked really good. We looked really solid. We looked like we were actually being quite creative.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see another team. I couldn't see Newcastle being in it. But as you guys have said, at halftime, bang on halftime, exactly the same thing happened today as happened against Leicester. Yeah. We conceded a goal, and all of a sudden they're on the up. That gives them the momentum at halftime, and our players must have gone into that dressing room at halftime a little bit deflated. I know, you can rally them round at halftime in the dressing room and so on, but they didn't come out the same team. And Newcastle had the momentum. But there's one thing that you guys haven't picked up on, I'm afraid, and it's got to be called out. Who was at fault for their goal?
No, we said it was. Well, I said Rice.
I didn't hear that bit. So yeah.
Yeah, no. I said Rice, but Dave said it wasn't just Rice. Go on, Dave.
No, it's a combination of things.
Yeah,
you never got that crossing when you got two players on two players. No, Soucek or Fredericks.
That didn't stop.
One of them's got to go with a runner, and both of them were shoulder dummy and went. So that it's not. We can sit here and pick on.
Well, the thing for me is
pick on Fredericks anyway because he's shit.
Yeah.
well, the thing for me, where Declan was, the easiest thing for him to have done was just put it out for a corner, but he headed it back into the 18-yard box and it fell at Joe Linton's feet. You know, and in all honesty, it doesn't matter what position anyone else is in. That should have been a defensive-minded. Get it out, put it for a corner.
But still, in his defence, he probably had a bit of a bad back through carrying Soucek through most of that first half. So, I will say that. That probably didn't.
I'll be honest with you, mate. I'll be honest with you. Soucek had a very poor game today.
It was awful.
But there was one player who had an even worse game than him, who just will never, ever, ever get subbed. Regardless, and you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, it's
because we've got no.
We can't use the excuse. We can't use the excuse that we don't have anyone to because as you actually pointed it out to me, Nick, that we haven't actually been playing with a striker all season. We've actually been playing with a false number 9 all season, because it doesn't matter that he's got his number 9 on his back. It doesn't make him a striker.
He don't play as a striker either.
As a striker.
He's always pulling out wide to the wing and stuff like that. It's his natural instincts, isn't it?
Exactly. So for that excuse of you can't pull him off because you haven't got anyone else to replace him. Well, that isn't an excuse. And he was poor.
I'm just reading some of the comments of people having a dig at Fabianski. If you take away the mistakes in the goal, I thought it was a cracking finish.
Yeah,
you can't pick the keeper out for that one.
I wouldn't pick the keeper out for that.
No, I'm not saying.
Yeah, Fabianski stays rooted to his. There were a couple of crosses in the second half because they were playing, towards our side and Bobby Moore lower, where you could. you'd see you almost picture Areola would go out and try and grab
like
ball.
he did against Kidderminster when he fucking
doesn't
flapped
matter,
like
mate.
that,
It doesn't matter.
But
At
would
least
you rather have a keeper commanding his area than one stuck on his line?
I'd rather have a keeper commanding his area.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, still, I think what it is, Fabianski probably knows his limitations, and like with Areola, he against Kidderminster, he should never have come out, because if you're not gonna get the ball, stay on your line.
Agreed.
And that's the thing. And I think Fabianski's 38 next year. He's no spring chicken. He's a good, solid keeper. He shouldn't be the number one now, but he is. It's
exactly.
I don't think
it's
fair to criticise him, though.
And this is the other thing on Moyes is he has faith in people almost to the point of, almost it's detrimental to the team.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like Fabianski, like Antonio, he will not drop them for love nor money, no matter how bad they play. When we're all sitting here thinking, why is Fabian? Okay, Areola has got an odd mistake in him, but he's not a Roberto. He's not a goalie like that where he's going to make mistake after mistake week in, week out. He shouldn't have come out for the Kidderminster cross because it wasn't even high enough for him to do so. I think it hit Diop's chest or something.
It did, yeah.
But that's Moyes'. If there's a downfall for Moyes, he keeps a lot of faith in certain players that we all keep asking, why is he picking him? And Antonio, Fabianski are two players like that. It's a shame, really, because it's to the detriment of the team. But the irony is, if we didn't do so well at the beginning of the season, and we're now at this stage and go, oh, we're fifth, we'd all be going, that's not bad, is it? But because we had such a great start, we're all going, it's all gone to shit.
No, it hasn't gone to shit still.
It hasn't gone to shit.
It hasn't gone to shit because we're still fit.
Still,
listen,
we've got the teams below us have got 3 games in hand on us. Tottenham beat Man City tonight. I didn't even want to mention that. Arsenal won. We can't keep. We're only where we are because teams below us as well. It's been forgiving. Now we can't keep on saying that. We had an opportunity. We was in 4th place after our first 12 games. We was genuinely, legitimately, and deservedly in that top 4 because we were brilliant. And then we got injuries in December. Right, we got injuries in December, which should have been a red flag to Moyes to go, well, look, hang on a minute.
Oh, yeah.
I clearly do need reinforcements. Yeah. And then, do you know what? It is a fucking disaster because we ain't going to achieve anything in the league this year still. We're not going to.
We don't know that yet, mate, because of the worst case scenario, if all the teams win all their games, we only go down to 8th. And we're still within a shout. Right. We're still within a shout of getting a European place.
I ain't putting no fucking
Champions League.
We're going to win the Europa League anyway.
Well, Mike, I think we are. So it'll all be good.
Listen, before we move on and do the player ratings, I just want to give you a little bit of a hint. I ran a Twitter poll earlier for Minger of the match, right? And I gave 4 options, and this is the results in reverse order. Benrahma got 9.8% of the votes. This is from 163 people, by the way. In 3rd place was Soucek with 24.5% of the vote. In 2nd place was Fredericks with 25.8% of the vote. And the winner by a mile with 39.9% was Antonio.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, and there's a perfect example of that guy being hung out to dry.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
This whole thing about being hung out to dry, the one thing that Antonio, I think we all agree, can do well is, even if he can't beat the player anymore and he's not scoring goals, the one thing he's always been good at is holding the ball up. He can't even do that.
No, so who's hanging him out to dry? This is what I'm on about. Our manager.
Oh, well,
he's the guy responsible for him playing week in, week out.
It's like in the second half, Dave, right? You could see towards the end of that half, he couldn't even fucking run towards the end, and he's just being left out there. And
he won't sub him.
You can't stand there. You can't stand there as manager of the club and say, say these things about Antonio being tired and he's out of form. You had an opportunity to fucking fix it. You didn't.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're hanging him out to dry. We're all getting on at Antonio. I'll pick on Ryan Fredericks because he's fit. He should be fit.
Yeah.
He doesn't play much football. He was fucking useless. He should have got 100%, Gary.
Yeah,
I agree. In your poll.
Yeah.
So is he getting a donkey on your vote then? Dave.
You know what it takes.
you know just how to bring me back, don't you, Nick?
Yeah.
When we're doing the player ratings, new rules, right? If a player needs to score below 5 to get to qualify for a donkey,
They're getting a donkey.
And it needs to have 2 votes. It needs to have someone proposing it and someone seconding it, right? So that's the way it works. That's official donkey process.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's going to work today.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so say that again, Gary. So what's that new process?
Well,
So I'm going to throw it
A
out
proposer and a seconder, basically.
they've got to score below
okay.
5, and you've got to have a proposer and a seconder for it to get a donkey head.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Stel might temporarily lose his connection when we're doing a rating on Soucek then. Right. Okay. Player ratings. Okay. Let's start with now. What we're going to do? I've added Moyes to the graphic today. We're also going to give Chris Kavanagh a rating today because you know what? He pissed me off today.
Oh,
he really
shit,
did.
Wasn't he?
He was shit. He was awful.
Absolutely awful.
Typical referee who lets everything go, and then as soon as he gives his first yellow card, he books everyone.
Yeah.
Except for the red card at the end on. That was ridiculous.
True.
So look, as you can see, as per the table in the top left-hand corner, 5 is a below-average game, 6 is average, 7 above average, 8 is good, 9 is great, 10 is a perfect performance. We've never had a 10, and we ain't going to have one in this game here. Just a little.
Okay.
So let's start with Fabianski. Okay, let's start from top to bottom. So Gary, go on, Fabianski. What are your thoughts?
Well, look, he does take some responsibility for the goal. I've watched it back now, so I'll give him a 6.
Yeah. Do you all agree with that, gentlemen?
Yeah, 6. 6
fair?
for me, definitely.
I would have said a 5, but you know.
Okay. Right. Well, it is a democracy. So, Dave, you happy with a 6?
Yeah. No, go with 6.
Okay. Right. Okay. Good. And then we'll go to Mike with Cresswell.
6 again.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on his performance, though, overall?
It was just another Cresswell performance. Apart from the assist for the goal, he's just Cresswell, isn't he? It's just it's week in, week out. He takes corners, he takes free kicks. He gets an assist every now and again, but it was a poor performance all round. So just a 6 for him, basically.
Yeah. So you just say an average game or below average?
Oh, sorry, 7 then. Sorry, 7.
No. What I mean is for will you say? What would you say, Dave? I wouldn't quite go that high for Cresswell.
At 6 then, yeah, an average game for him, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'd go a high 5.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Still.
Yeah, 5, 6 for me. It's about the same. Yeah.
Gary.
There's a lot of 5s in the chat.
I think he put a delivery in for the
I think
goal.
it's a bonus point. It's a bonus point for the set piece in it, so I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, that's gained that point for him, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Right, Dave. Let's go with the Ryan Fredericks. Go on. Tell me what you think about Ryan Fredericks.
I didn't mind this one. He's probably a really, really nice guy.
Declan's best mate.
But apart from that, he's a shocking footballer. I don't know. If I say 0, then everyone's going to go, I'm going 0. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
That's fine. You can go 0. Right, go on. Right, Stel, what would you go for Ryan Fredericks?
I'd give him a 4.
Give him a 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, Mike.
I'll give him 1.
Hey! Sorry, that was so immature.
No, it's fine. Look, he didn't. To be fair, he didn't contribute anything apart from not positively. He didn't contribute anything, did he? But go on, Gary.
I think we've got some extremes here, so I'd settle on a 3.
Yeah, I would go 3. I'll go 3. So that's fine. He's definitely getting a. He's definitely getting a donkey.
Dave's proposing a donkey head. Does someone second it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fair.
There we go. The first of the evening. There we go. Sorry, mate. Okay, let's move on to Craig Dawson. And I'm going to go to Stelios.
I'll give him a 7.
Give him a 7. Do you think he played well?
The 2 centre backs played exceptionally well today.
Yeah.
You know, they cleared everything, and and he got the goal as well, and second goal in 2 games. So high 7 for me.
A high 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Do you all agree with that?
I'd go 8 personally.
Eight.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I
Okay.
think looking at your rating system, good game.
He had a good game. Didn't he?
He had a good game.
He had a very good
Okay.
game. Yeah.
Right. And I thought I've got to be honest.
Seems
The
like-
cat man next to him.
Catman
I
had a good game as well.
thought he had a fucking brilliant game. I thought he was
Yeah,
imperious. I've got to be honest. He was amazing.
I'll give him 8.
Yeah. 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the two of them were very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is everyone in agreement with that? No one's saying much about Soucek. Everyone
happy with that.
Catman,
I'm happy with
Evan.
Yeah.
Okay. He was good today, though, Zuma.
Yeah, he was.
I've got to be honest. Not going to say what it was, but funny chant from the Newcastle fans as well. That's one of the things they did. Yeah.
That was actually quite good, wasn't it?
It's quite amusing.
Come on, then.
It tickled me. Couldn't really understand it all because obviously they're Geordies and you can only understand the first bit.
To be fair, we made the second part of the song up because we couldn't understand what they were singing. You know,
Go
and
on.
so-
What's your interpretation?
What
Gary?
was it
Come on.
then?
how did it go, Nick? What was the song again?
I can't remember. I'm not going to say
Oh,
it.
come on.
No, I'm
No,
not saying it.
no, it comes to me in a minute. Still, can you remember how it went?
Couldn't hear it from my end, mate.
No. I'll tell you what. Carry on, and I'm going to try and remember it.
Someone in the chat will remember it.
Oh. Have I lost connectivity?
No.
No,
No, you're still
no,
in.
you're here.
Hang on. I think we've lost connectivity here.
No.
Blame it on
Hang
Soucek,
on.
mate. If I were
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Hang on,
So
I think you've lost me. 1 minute. Back in a second. 1 minute.
There we go. Ross remembers it. It was Zuma. He's like, I want. Oi, Zuma.
Oh, no.
I want to know
If you'll kick my cat.
Yeah.
That's fucking shocking.
Hang on.
That was
was our fans singing that.
no, that was the Newcastle fans.
Oh,
So so that was actually that was actually quite funny little, because they started off just booing him. That's the standard stuff, isn't it? So I think it's quite nice to add
Right,
a
I'm
bit
back
of
now, everyone. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened
What's
now. I
our
did
song
it.
then?
A set of supporters that punch horses and they're booing somebody who's kicked the cat.
I know we're gonna come to that after in quite a lot of depth in one of the news stories. So don't worry about that.
Okay, right.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, piss off, Siri.
Hey,
Right.
Alexa.
Yeah. Right. So the next one is Declan Rice. And I'll go
I
to.
didn't respond to that.
We'll have to unplug her in a minute.
You got a lady of the night there with you.
Glad to hear it.
Alexa.
Oh, she won't shut up. Typical woman. Right, okay. Declan Rice.
It's going to bring in a lot of complaints.
I'll do this.
That chat room just dropped. Woo.
Calm down, Claire.
Okay, Declan Rice. What are we going for Declan Rice for a score?
7.
No, with his standards. Think about the bar he's set for himself.
No. We can't really do that. So it's not above average for Declan. It's just, is it an above average game? So it's got to be based on the balance of play, how he affected the game. Obviously, for Declan, that wasn't a good game for him.
I thought it was a 6.
6.
Yeah. I'd go 7.
He
I'd go
gave the
7.
goal away 5.
Yeah, do you know what?
No, I'm serious. He had a very average game today.
Delius, you're harsh.
No, I think I think.
I say still. I'm going to ask you in
it.
advance. But in advance, if Declan Rice is a 5, what are you giving Soucek?
No, when we get to Soucek, we'll do that. We'll do Soucek then,
That
mate.
is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right.
I'll tell you the way I saw it. The way I saw it is I thought he had a bad first half and a good second half.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay second half. He'd done a couple of good things. In the chat though, I think there's a bit of support for Stelios in there. And I agree. He gave the ball. He gave the goal away. Imagine if that was Soucek.
Yeah.
I want to see the word, Dave. I want to
Imagine
see
if
the
that's
word.
Fredericks.
Yeah. I
He'd have
think
got a minus
Diop.
score.
I think
If it was
I'll go
Soucek,
6. I am not
if
going
it was
5.
Soucek, Nick would have run on the pitch and punched him.
I'm not
I
going.
think.
I'm not going 5 on Rice. No chance. 6. I'll go.
I thought it was a democracy.
I thought it was a democracy. Yeah.
Who said 5 then? Who said 5?
It's all right.
How many people
Loads of
said
people in the chat. Loads of people in the chat.
Oh, fuck them. Right.
How to win over your audience, Nick? How to win over your audience?
Listen, when we're talking about Declan Rice, right now, come on, tell me who's right, Gary. What's your rating for him?
No, look, listen, a 5 or a 6. I'll tell you what, I'm going to get side with the crowd and go for a 5.
Oh, you're joking.
You crowd pleaser.
Well, I think he was below average for Deck.
No, but
But that's
the
not how we're doing it.
criteria.
That's
It's
not
the
how we're doing
game.
it. You can't do below average for Deck.
It's the game.
It's the game.
You've got to do what you see. You know,
Listen,
if he thought it was below average, then it's below average.
Fuck's
Let's-
sake. Am I giving Rice a 5?
Looks like it.
We are not you, Nick.
Oh,
Wait.
mate.
I said 6.
I mean,
Dave, what did you say?
I said 6 as well.
You said 6. I'm saying 6. There you go.
Yay!
Right, there you go.
Democracy.
Nick,
Look,
apologise.
we all know
Nick,
he was.
Nick,
he was
apologise to
poor
the people in the chat now. Come on.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry, Jordan. I didn't mean it. I'm a bit protective over Rice. Right, okay. Right, here we go. Right, now we go to Soucek.
Oh,
And I'm going to go to Stelios. I'm interested to hear what Stelios thinks. If Rice is a 5, what he thinks Soucek is.
5.5. No, realistically, he was poor. 3. I'll give him a 3.
Right, Dave.
Yeah, I think 3.
3. Gary. Mike.
Yeah, I'll go with a 3. Happy with that.
3. Well, I'd say 1, but yeah. Okay.
that's a donkey head then, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going donkey. Who
I
else?
think he
Yeah,
deserves a
second.
donkey. Eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Sorry, mate. Not really sorry.
Fucking hell, it's hard though, isn't it? Doing that because you can't help but love the guy, and he's just.
Oh no, it's nothing personal. This is
One
just
game, Dave. One
It's-
game.
It's a game.
No,
It's
it's not one game though, is it, Mike?
what it is. I was talking to
Coming.
Nick about this on the way back tonight, and you can say there can be lots of mitigating factors, and you could take a subjective view on the likes of Antonio and say, oh, he's really tired, blah blah blah. But you've got to take an objective view and actually judge a performance on its merits. And today, he deserves what he's getting.
Yeah. No, I know. It's just
okay.
feels
Right.
horrible.
Right now, look. This for me. I'm going to give you a bit of a spot. This was my West Ham man of the match. I'm going to say it early on. Pablo Fornals. I think the baby must be sleeping through the night now, because he was on fire. I thought today. He was everywhere, up and down the pitch. He was brilliant.
attacking Moyes, he was definitely
and getting back as well. He was everywhere. I love brilliant performance. He's always forward thinking, Pablo, isn't he? He's always trying to get that ball forward. I love it. So for me, I wouldn't go any higher than an 8. But he definitely had a good game. He had a good game. I wouldn't go great game, but definitely had a good game.
I enjoyed Fornals today. I'd go 8 as well.
Yep. Yeah, can't disagree.
8, definitely 8. Yeah.
Stelios.
I don't think I think he played well, but for me, Zuma and Dawson were the better players today overall. So with that, I've got to go 7.
Okay, he's an 8. There you go. Right, that's right.
Well, I think man of the match.
Whatever.
Come on, Chris.
But no, the scores and man of the match are two different things, right? We're going to.
They are. Man of the match still is different. So you can all have the same, match rating. I think Pablo Fornals was our only kind of driving force.
Yeah, he was our drive. He was our inspiration today. Yeah,
he was. And you are right about Dawson and Zuma. I think they were fucking superb today. To be honest, some of those tackles that Zuma was putting in. Did you see that? Just to sort of digress a little bit, when Dawson committed GBH on Fraser.
I love that because anyone who was more deserving on that pitch.
They were pulling our players down left, right, and centre and getting away with it.
He's
frustrating,
isn't he?
Weren't they frustrating? But anyway, right. Let's move on to. I'll tell you what. We'll leave Benny. We'll go to Bowen. Bowen next. Still Bowen.
Not his best today. And you can see it because he got really frustrated at the end, didn't he?
Yeah,
with what happened. It just wasn't going for him today. 6.
I think that's fair. Average game. Gary?
Yeah, 6.
Yeah. Mike?
I can't give him less than a 7. He's just brilliant.
That's fair enough. Dave?
Yeah, it's 6.
6. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think look, I know I said what I said, that it's got to, but I think for Bowen and Rice, they have set the bar so high, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They have. But I don't think it was all. It's not like with Antonio. It's not all Bowen's fault. He's got so much pressure on him. Right, let's go to Bowen. Sorry, not Bowen.
Can we just add one thing on Bowen. How fucking good is he in the air?
Yeah.
He jumps early, doesn't he? He jumps early.
He does. Yeah, he does. He gets up early and can hang up there for a long while. I've noticed
Sheringham said how good he is at that as well. So, and Sheringham was a good judge of people who can do a header, I'd say.
Yeah.
Do you know what else he is as well, Bowen? He's tough as fuck because he gets kicked. He gets kicked a lot.
That geezer at the end should have got sent off for that tackle.
That was bad, wasn't it? I didn't see it in the game, but I saw it on a replay. And how was that not a red card?
Awful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if one of our players had done that, I would be a bit disappointed with a red card. It was a bad challenge, but it wasn't a dangerous one. It was just a wankerish challenge. Is wankerish a word?
It can be.
It was a wankerish challenge.
Right. So let's go to the show pony of the team, the F2 freestyler,
Antonio.
Benrahma. Mike, what were your thoughts on Benrahma's performance?
I love him.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Mate,
I think he's the closest thing we've got to a playmaker, and we keep taking him off.
This is the problem. Benrahma divides opinion amongst the fan base. He really does.
I thought he had a really bad game today. He had a bad game today, but he does things other players don't do.
But based on his game today.
I'm saying he had a bad game today, so I'll give him 6.
Okay.
What?
Average
he
game.
had a bad game, you'll give him 6. What are you drinking?
Because he gets pulled off at fucking 65, 75 minutes every game. He knows that's going to happen.
That doesn't mean he gets a 6. He was shit today. How can you sit there and say he was shocking?
He was
fucking shocking. I'm sorry. We've signed a player with all this flair in the championship. We want him to be this outstanding Payet type player. He's not. No, but he's not. He's never going to be any better than what we. But he's never going to be any better than what we've seen.
David Moyes has said, "I want to fucking basically drum all the playmaking skills out of him and make him into a Joe Jason Mourinho."
I think he hasn't, but it's exactly what he did to Fornals when he took over the team. Fornals was our number 10 apparently, but now Fornals is a bit more of a solid midfielder, and he's kind of adapted to what Moyes wants. And I agree with that. I think Moyes is safety first, and he'd rather see Benrahma doing the running back and tracking back, etc., and doing the defending as well as the attacking. The irony is, when we had Lingard in the team last season, he didn't ask him to do that.
Yeah, but that's because Lingard is so good at it, though. That's because
hang on. If you tell Benrahma, stay up there, stay close to Antonio, I bet you he'll give you a better game on a more regular basis. But he has to keep dropping because that's what Moyes wants him to do.
I've got to interrupt and just bring up one comment because I can't believe I just read it, but I'm going to put it up anyway. Oh, not that one.
Was way better than
This one.
Oh, mate, come on.
No, you're on drugs now. You're on drugs.
No.
Who even is that?
No way.
Get
out.
That's a Spurs fan coming in.
Yeah, we're being trolled.
Jesus Christ!
Right, so come on, let's give him a rating anyway. So Mike, so you said 6. Right, Dave, go on, give me a balance this out. Give me a rating.
Well, if Soucek gets 3, then so does Benrahma.
I think that's I wouldn't go 3, but I like where you're going. I think he did more. Like I said to you, for every good thing he did, which he did do, he played a couple of good passes. He did 10 things that fucking irritated me. He pulls out of challenges. He don't do 50-50s. So if that's what Moyes wants from Benrahma, he's flogging a dead horse because he ain't going to get it.
No offense, mate.
Yeah.
No. I think I thought he'd done a couple of good things in the first half. I thought he constantly frustrates me with his, how can I say, his lack of heart. Right. He is more of a show pony than someone that's going to get stuck in. He pulls out of every 50-50. It was a prime example of that today, where he did one on the right-hand side of the pitch where he pulled out, ran across to the left-hand side of the pitch, did the same thing to the next challenge as well. I would give him a 4. I wouldn't give him a donkey head. I don't think he deserves a donkey head.
I don't think he deserves a donkey head.
I'd give him a 4.
I think that's fair. Still, what would you give him?
Well, if we're giving Declan a 6, who gave the goal away, then I've got to give Benrahma at least a 5.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to put a donkey on his head anyway. I'm not going to do that because he doesn't deserve that today. But like I say, Chad, but going back to your point about Lingard, which I'm going to take exception with, because you can go back to Payet. Now, there are very few players that you can give that role to and basically say, right, because you're so fucking good at going forward, you get us goals.
Mate,
that can be your main premise. Benrahma isn't that. Benrahma ain't
agree.
that player.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But I think the point that Mike's made, and I agree with him, is
it's a valid point. Yeah.
Moyes has changed the way Fornals plays. Yeah. Moyes has tried to change the way Benrahma plays. Fornals has taken to it. He's adapted. He's managed to adapt, because when Fornals came, he was meant to be kind of our number 10. It was a choice between him and Lanzini playing in that hole. And so Fornals has managed to adapt to what Moyes wants. Benrahma is more of a Payet than he is a player that Moyes wants. That's the point I'm trying to make. And if you've got a player like that that's got that sort of flair, why are you trying to change him so much that he actually loses what he's actually good at? Because he ain't a shit player, and we kind of got him because of his attacking prowess when he was at Brentford. And what I'm saying is, if you just said to him, don't worry about tracking back, we've got another 8 players on the pitch that do that. You stay a little bit further up, and when that ball breaks, you're going to be closer to Antonio and use your skill and your trickery in order to get forward. What Benrahma has to do is he gets it in the middle of the park and he's got to beat 3 or 4 players. Now, he shouldn't do. He should be trying to lay it off, etc. But he's thinking, I've got the ball. My natural instinct is to go and, take players on. And, and I think that's the problem. Lingard had the freedom to play a lot further forward than Benrahma's being given. And I think Benrahma's being slated, because I was at the Kidderminster game, and in the second half, they were playing, Benrahma was on this side near the fans. The skill that boy has got, he's got some superb skill. He's got amazing skill. But it's only better where it's in the last third of the pitch, rather than trying to do it from.
But still, I think the difference is, right, and this is a difference. I'm not doubting, and that's why I do get frustrated with him, because he's shown on more than one occasion that he does have technical ability. He really does. He's got good close control, but his problem is, he showed it today. When he breaks through on goal, he's got technical ability. He's got the feet to get around the player. He ain't got the pace to get away from one. He can't. From Premier League fullbacks so quick.
Payet didn't have the pace.
His decision making is woeful at times.
Yeah.
Payet didn't give it. No. Look, we're making this comparison. We're talking about Payet, so let's talk about him.
Yeah.
Benrahma doesn't make sensible decisions. There's times he hangs onto the ball too long. He wants to beat too many players. Payet didn't do that. He would give the ball.
Payet's world class.
No, but we're making this comparison. So
that's an unfair comparison, because Payet came from Marseille and had an absolutely electric first season.
Of course, it's not.
The comparison I'm making is, it's not that I think he's a Payet. He's more like a Payet type player.
He's a skilled
not a Payet. I know he's never going to be that
He's out of his depth in the Premier League. He is
I think it's another case of a player being not played in his strongest position, in all honesty. And Moyes has a tendency to do that. He has a tendency to keep players, to play players. Didn't want to say it, but Allaire, when Allaire was with us, he's scoring goals for fun at the moment, because Moyes didn't want him to play in the type of game that he wanted him to play, he looks shit. And that's what we're getting with Benrahma now. He's not using Benrahma in the best way that he knows he could, and it's affecting his game.
Well, look at Fornals today, right? Now Fornals basically gets shoehorned out to the left because Fornals can do what Benrahma can't, and he provides that defensive cover to Cresswell. Fornals is basically stripped of his talent, and he's basically, because of his work-like ethic, he's put on the left-hand side to cover Cresswell. And then when he's played in that position, we all criticise his creative output. But when he's played there, He ain't played there to be creative. He's played there to cover Cresswell. When you put him in the middle of the team like you did today, you saw Fornals. You saw Pablo Fornals in the middle of the park. Because
I'm agreeing with you, Nick. Fornals has managed to adapt to what Moyes wants.
Yeah.
He's managed to do it. Unfortunately, Benrahma is not that sort of player.
Well,
He's not likely to adapt.
Then, doesn't
No.
it?
No, right now we're going to move on to Antonio, and we've done Antonio to death. And I don't want to criticise him anymore, so let's just give him a score. We'll start with Gary. Go on, give Antonio a score today.
Listen, he put in the effort, but it was just a poor performance. I'll give him a 4.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Mike,
3.
3. Dave,
5.
5. Stel,
He was our worst player on the pitch too.
2. Okay, well, no, that's that. Well, look, I suppose we'll have to go 3.
Yeah.
We'll have to balance it out. I think that's fair. Look, I say, I always defend Antonio, but I will be honest with you. Today, as much as I love him, I wanted him pulled off that pitch. I was sick of watching him by the time it got to the end. And I am sorry, Mikel. I'm not questioning your commitment. But yeah, it was bad today.
You can see some of the chances in the first half when he had the ball and it was too wide for him to shoot, and he tried to take a shot and it flew over the bar, and he had players in the middle. All he had to do was look up, and we would have been 2-0.
He's not a thinking player, is he?
There's something that I didn't want to be reminded of. I didn't want to be reminded of this, but we're reminded of it. The air kick. Do you remember that?
You got to laugh. Is this Mandisi due?
Look, I'm not being funny. Look, Mandisi, he was outstanding today. My God, you people are drunk. He's gone as far as to say back in the chat.
Mandisi's taken
African players get targeted.
Yeah, fucking off.
Antonio is one of my favourite fucking players, and I've defended him to the hilt, and I always have. So, no, I am sorry, mate. You're annoying me.
Yeah. No more comments from you, mate. He's on a 5-minute timeout. Go behave yourself.
He's blocked for 5 minutes. It's amazing.
Well, we'll see what he says when he comes back. He'll have a think about it. See if he wants to come out of any more.
Look, for me, he's a free. I can't make Antonio a donkey.
You've got to make him a donkey, mate.
Oh, he's donkey.
The rules are someone's got to propose it and someone's got to second it, right?
I propose it.
Second.
Okay,
there you go.
Fine. Weren't me, Nick. I feel dirty now.
Yeah, mate, you got to go by what you. I mean, I'm honestly.
I know.
Yeah, I actually I felt sorry for him because he was in the firing line. It's interesting that there's an interview by Alvin Martin earlier in the week. There's an interview by Alvin Martin earlier in the week, and they were, he was talking about players who are out of form, and Alvin Martin said back in the day, a player would have rather been not played for the next game just to take them out of the firing line. I've been saying it for a while. Antonio, just start him on the bench for a game or two.
Still, same with Soucek. Same with Soucek.
Fair play.
These players.
Start him on the bench, and then but for Antonio in particular, talk to him about the game while he's on the bench. Say, look at their weaknesses. Look what's going on. Look what's happening in the game. When I bring you on, this is what I want you to do, and it might just give him that spark. Because at the moment he's coming on. He looks fucked before he even starts.
Exactly.
I agree with that. I noticed that today.
10-15 minutes, do the bloody Vlasic role and run at tired defenders when you're
bring him on for the last half an hour. Imagine him battering the opposition's defense for the last half hour.
I totally agree.
They won't know what hit him.
Totally agree.
But he ain't going to do it, is he? Moyes ain't going to do it.
He's not going to do it.
If he sticks by his conviction and says, well, I see Bowen as a striker, then okay, put Bowen as a striker, leave Antonio on the bench, bring him on for Bowen at 60, 70 minutes, whatever. Or bring them both on together. Fuck it.
This is a good point from Stu.
Stu's right.
He did get spun by Willock, and I pointed that out to Nick at the game, and Nick refused to acknowledge it. But
Steve's right. Stu's right. Sorry,
he's right. He is right.
You're a nasty man, Stu. I don't.
Yeah. No, but he's accurate, which is why I think I gave Declan a 4, and you turned it down.
I said at the game. That Willock. Hold on a minute, Mike. I said at the game to Nick that Willock is dominating Rice, and he almost laughed at me. I said he was. It
but
seemed
no,
like
I'm
he
not.
was.
Yeah, but Gary, you're playing up against a three-man midfield of Shelvey, Joe Linton, and Willock. And I am being sorry. We was one man down. We were.
Don't blame Soucek on Declan's poor
Still.
performance today.
How many 50-50s did Soucek he whipped out? Didn't whip out. He lost them today.
You're right, but that doesn't account for Declan having a very under par game today. Maybe it's catching up with him as well.
Yeah,
This is what's happening. It's catching up with all the players.
Yeah, maybe it is.
And maybe Declan is the next one that is going to catch up with him.
Let's move on. Ben Johnson.
He came on and did a very good job. I thought. I'll give him.
I'll
give him
say
a
7 for him.
I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, agreed.
Dave,
Definitely.
No, I go 7. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right, and Vlasic.
Well, I thought he was average when he came on.
Yeah.
He wasn't below average. He wasn't above
It
average.
was hard for him. That's hard for him to come
Yes.
into a game with 18 minutes left to make a real impact.
Exactly the thing that Moyes wants him to do. To destroy his confidence even more. Come on and do something that.
Well, let's drop Benrahma and play him.
But
I
he
would.
won't.
I would. No, personally, my choice. No, don't get me wrong. I don't think that solves our problems because I don't think Vlasic has got it in him to really sort of beat anyone yet. I don't think he's ready to go. But I do think Vlasic is more. Do you know what? I think he's more of a Moyes player. He's more industrious.
Yeah, but he's
More
also not a
industrious,
left winger. He's also not an effective left winger, right? So
to be honest,
He has said he has said his best position is in the centre, but he's never played in the centre.
Yeah.
He's actually come out and said it.
If Lanzini is fit, Lanzini plays in that role.
I think the issue is, Dave. I think Fornals, Lanzini, and Vlasic are number 10s.
Yes. Yeah. No, I completely agree. Completely agree. Yeah. I can't argue that.
In fact, number 10's position.
In fact, you chuck Benrahma in there as well. They're all. That's where they're the strongest. We've got too many similar players.
I agree. Yeah, give him a. Well, it's because of the rigid system. They've all got to fit into that system, right? So I'll give Vlasic a 6 personally. What are you going to give him?
He won't know less than 6.
I
6 is fair. Yeah,
he won't know less than 6.
Definitely.
Right, okay. I'm going to start with Stel on this one. This is new because I'm getting annoyed with him now. So I brought David Moyes onto the graphic for the first time this season. So David Moyes, give him a rating out of 10. What you thought of him today?
His stubbornness is beginning to let him down, and it's beginning to let the team down. He's stubborn, and as much as we love the fact that he's got us to the point where he's got us, I get frustrated. More or less what you guys have said. Same. Every team we play will know at least 9 of the players that are going to start.
Yeah,
at least. And I'd almost say sometimes 10 because he'll pick either Lanzini or he'll pick Benrahma. So you'd almost, guarantee. And this is the frustration that he seems to just be constant. Look how long it's taken him to get Ben Johnson back into the team.
I know.
Look how long it's taken. I had to take all these games and a half today before he went, oh yeah, I better play Ben Johnson. And that's the thing that really gets to me. It kind of. It's in some ways it's been good. His stubbornness has been good because look where we are, and in other ways it's like fucking hell, mate. Change the fucking record. So with that, it's a 4.
And very quickly, Manzi Dozy's gone. Chat shit, get blocked. You're gone. I'm sorry.
Breaking Manzi Dozy.
Manzi Dozy.
I reckon if we go through the letters of Mandizi Doos.
You think it's an anagram?
Yeah, it spells out.
All right, what's his name?
Give us half an hour trying to work out the anagram.
Yeah,
Sean the Spurs supporter came on earlier. You reckon it's him?
Don't put his comments up. Don't put his comments up.
No, he's too busy wanking over there, Man City result.
Yeah, true.
I know.
Yeah.
Right, okay, come on, Moyes. So, Stel, did you give him a score?
4.
4. Okay, Dave.
And that's being generous.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna be harsh on Moyes today.
It's tough because I've been pro Moyes for a long while now, but the decision to play Fredericks and leave Johnson out again. Yeah, I'm with Stell on this. I can't give him any higher than a 4 today. I thought it was substitutions. To only bring Vlasic on. I know we didn't have great options on the bench, but fucking hell, give something different a go.
Absolutely.
Well, he had the young. I mean, for the last half a dozen games or so, he had Armstrong Okaflex on the bench, and we're all shouting out, "Fuck me, he's doing wonders." And I know it's under 23s, but if you don't give him a taste, Declan had to have a taste in the Premier League. He wasn't on the bench, but he had Dan Chester's on the bench today, who is the next Joe Cole apparently. And you wanted something different. Give him 10 minutes.
Yeah, do you know what, Phil? Unless you give him a chance, right? I listened to the Mark Noble podcast when he was on with Rio, and he spoke about his debut in the team, and he said he was given a chance. He obviously was good because he was given a chance in the first team. He said, but he said my debut. He said my game. He said I was doing things that I didn't know I could do. He said I'd gone up a level, and that is the thing. You've got some players that will freeze like a rabbit in the headlights.
Yeah.
You've got others that will just grasp it, but you don't know unless you try them.
You don't know unless you try. You don't know. And the game was crying out for a player. We're talking about a ball carrier, etc. And the game was crying out for someone to run at them and give them something to worry about. And little Dan Chester's is like, he's a.
That's that curveball.
Sorry,
that's our curveball we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily have to be a curveball in system.
Yeah,
it can be a curveball in a player, and you chuck somebody in with 20 minutes to go, and their defence going, "Who the fucking hell's this guy?
Who the fuck is he?" And before you know it, it might create a few chances.
Yeah,
it's risky. It's risky,
and he's not going to get shot at.
Take a risk.
You're not going to get shot at for putting a young lad on for 20 minutes if he doesn't do much.
Exactly.
The crowd will get on red and black.
Of course,
the crowd's not going to get on a young lad's back, are they?
Not at all.
And the irony is, Moyes brings young players through, but he seems to have frozen at West Ham.
Moyes doesn't seem to have figured out that the West Ham fans, they love to see one of the youngsters come through.
Exactly.
And we will give Moyes support for bringing someone through.
He did that though in the lockdown with the FA Cup games. He did that, and he even.
But this is different, Mike.
He does it. Trots.
But he does it against teams where, I mean, the only time I think he's been burnt by what he did against Man United in the Cup last season, where he brought Odebeko on as a sub. Odebeko didn't have a good game, and then he took him off. I mean, that must have been absolutely devastating for the lad, And maybe that's in Moyes' mind, going, "Well, maybe I shouldn't put them in the firing line." Fucking do it, mate. Give him the last 10 minutes and see what happens.
While we scoring Moyes, I'm going to give him a 5.
Fucking no way.
Well, all right. So he's got 2 4s. What are you giving him, Mike?
2.
All right, 2 4s, a 2, a 5. What are you giving him, Nick?
I'm giving him I'm going with Mike, so we'll go 3.
All right.
Are you going to put a donkey head on him?
We'll have to vote it. Right. For me, this is the thing. No, look, it's
you got to think about the donkeys carefully. Think about the donkeys carefully.
Yeah, I'm going to think
it's not be frivolous for the donkeys.
Because he's as stubborn as a fucking mule.
No, listen, Gary, it's taken a shit game from Soufal and a shit half from Fredericks for him to put our best right back in again.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, that
Mike's proposing it. Who's second in the donkey?
Yeah. I'm going from 5 to a 2 now. Fuck it.
Go on, Dave. You're the donkey.
Do you know? I should have been more aware. I've had a few drinks. Him picking Fredericks was a 2 straight away, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yes. Donkey head.
So look, I am sorry in this one. We're fair. Look, I didn't want to put it on Antonio's head. I love Antonio. It was poor from Moyes today, as far as I'm concerned. They were there for the taking. No Alanson Maximan, no fucking Trippier, no Wilson. We're at home. Newcastle was 16th. I'm sorry, we've got to be beating them. And he didn't help the situation. All right. So for me, it's a donkey. So is there another donkey there?
Yes, I said
Yeah,
yes.
I'm on the bench. I'm on
Can
the
we
bench.
can we
I'm
have
on
a
the
to-
fence
can we
on
have a
this one.
Tony Pulis head for the manager?
Well, listen, mate.
If it's had a shocker, let's not give him a donkey because he's not
Who
playing.
seconded the donkey? Who seconded the donkey?
Me. No, I
No,
proposed it.
You first did it, and
You
now you're
first did it.
seconding it.
Who seconded the donkey?
I'm gonna.
Yay!
All
Good
right.
one, Dave.
But you've got to change that. He can't have a donkey's head as a manager.
Yes, you can.
No. It's either got to be a hippo's head.
Donkey and Shrek.
Yeah, hippo's head. Get a
Yeah,
hippo's head.
let's get a hippo.
All right. Okay. Right now, that wanker in the pink, Chris Kavanagh. Gary, go on. What was your
Have you
thoughts
got
on
a
him?
picture of- No.
Well, I thought he was really, really slack. Let everything go in the first half, and then he started booking people and didn't seem to stop booking them. Let Newcastle get away with untold time wasting. Going to come to that in a minute. Because that is their game. Newcastle, they drain the minutes away. I mean, they're terrible. And
Another Brentford. Another
Yeah,
Brentford.
why
Yeah,
the referees fall for it? I don't know. So I'd give him I thought he was awful. I'd give him a 4.
Yeah, I would go. I'd go lower than that. I'd give him a 3. Right,
Yeah.
Mike, what would you give him?
3. The ref was terrible. 3.
I thought he was terrible today. Dave,
It doesn't matter what I give him because our performance today fucking far overshadows what the referee done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not to give him 3, give him 4. I'm not that fussed.
Come on, let's wrap this up.
Sorry.
Nah, let's give him a score and move on, Nick.
go on.
Yeah,
Stel,
three for me. 3 for me as well. And
Is he,
there's
getting
one.
a donkey? Is he getting a donkey? Just
Yeah,
to
he's
close
getting,
it off before we
definitely.
go?
He's getting 2 fucking donkey heads. There's
Right,
one thing happened in the centre of the park this afternoon where Antonio was wrestled down right in front of him, and he waved play on.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's going on there? You know.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do out of respect for the fact that David Moyes is our manager and he has done very well. Right, David Moyes, I'm going to remove the donkey's head from you for now. And I'm going to transfer it onto the ref. Right,
Yeah, good
but
call.
fucking don't be such a dick in future. Sort yourself out.
I think
There you
you've
go.
got to do something extreme for David Moyes to get a donkey head. It's got to be a period of time. Yeah, you can't just go donkey straight to donkey.
Based
There
on
you
one
go.
game. It's based on one game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It is
yeah.
it is based on one game. Yeah, no, that's right. That's
I
right.
think we need, Mike, to be fair, I think we need to get another head for the manager. We need a hippo head
Yeah.
and whatever else, right?
Turnip.
It's
Oh,
me
yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, that's me done. That's me done. Over to you, Gary.
Right. Okay. So bear with me, because I'm completely
It's
out
on the
of.
fly.
Right, we're going to move on to news. So we've got some very
gosh.
emotional news. So welcome to the news. On a week when Storm Dudley loosened some roof tiles and then Eunice popped in and took the roof off the O2. The mezzanine in Stour Space, the original home of the Hackney Wick Supporters Club, collapsed, and we celebrated the 32nd anniversary of the 6-0 semi-final defeat to Oldham in 1989. What a night that was. So, on to story number 1. Bottom of the league. Now, I know this will surprise you. It will surprise you. In fact, many of you may be startled by the findings of this latest Premier League fan survey. So fasten your seatbelts, adopt a stiff upper lip, and prepare yourself for the most earth-shattering of news. West Ham are bottom of the league for atmosphere in the entire Premier League. The London Stadium, that is. The survey, compiled by fanbanter.co.uk, a popular outlet, leaves us with an average score of 2 out of 5 stars from a survey of just over 6,000 attendees. Even Arsenal were above us with 2.5 stars out of 5. Many clubs who you consider to have good traditional grounds scored 3.5 out of 5. That's Villa, Wolves, Burnley, Palace. So they're only 1.5 stars ahead of us. Newcastle were rated the best in the entire league with 4 stars out of 5. And got to say, having only watched West Ham games up there, stuff right up in the gods, I kind of disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last time I went there, we won 3-0, and the Newcastle fans didn't come in until 15 minutes after because they were outside protesting. So a lot of listen, and this is going to go to Dave because Dave is the one who he travels high and low all around the country, sees all the away grounds, and from what I've seen personally, there's a lot of grounds that look nice, but as far as a good raucous atmosphere, I don't see many out there. I've got to be honest. You know, even famous clubs like Liverpool, they you know, when the team's coming on the pitch, they single never walk alone. Then they get on with their prawn sandwiches. So I can't say that there's really an atmosphere out there that's gripped me, that's really impressed me. So is our atmosphere really only half as good as Newcastle? Or is this just an easy stick to beat us with because it's the London Stadium? Is it fair that our atmosphere is worse than all of the others? So, Dave, over to you.
For best atmosphere, away ground, Leeds, without a fucking doubt.
Yeah.
You know, what was that? End of September, they were superb. You know, very loud, intimidating, a proper old school away ground. I love that. That's why I want to go. That's why I go away from home.
Yeah.
You're right about Newcastle. I've never been there and enjoyed the place. Certainly the ground. I've enjoyed the city, but not the ground. It's not a particularly pleasant experience. By the time you get up to the away end, you're fucked anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not great supporters. But like a lot of home grounds, they're noisy when they're winning, and we can say exactly the same for ourselves. To be put bottom of fucking hell. Spurs, have you been to Spurs?
I know. It's a lovely looking ground, but there's no atmosphere.
Exactly. No, it's terrible. It's terrible. We just see them idiots the other day trying to sing that. What was it? West Ham kick kittens everywhere they go. There were 6 of them singing it. Embarrassing, pathetic. Do you know what I mean? They are humiliating. You know, set of supporters. They're terrible.
Yeah.
Liverpool, yeah, and it's not great. Villa, I like. Villa's a good away day. They're generally loud until you go 1 or 2 up, but you know that's the same for any set of fans.
So where would you put us? Because I'd put us with London Stadium personally. I'd put us about halfway up the league. I wouldn't put us at the bottom.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Southampton, you know, somewhere else that's toilet as a home ground. So yeah, no, I'd put us middle, but I think people are judging it on the ground rather than the atmosphere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they're turning up and they're feeding off our hatred of it. You know, you're not West Ham anymore. Fuck off.
Well, I hate it. You know, that you're not West Ham anymore. That got sung at us every week. It still gets sung at us by the away fans. And frankly, that's just nonsense. For people who to quote that, that's people who don't like the ground. They want to rub salt into the wounds. I don't really buy that crap. So, what do you reckon, Stel?
I'm with you there. I think our ground is this season. Our ground has been as good as any, with especially the first half of the season when the results were, and the games were going our way. You know, the style of play. We've had some fantastic days there. You know, and especially the European games as well. The crowd have been well up for it, and it makes me laugh. I think you're right. I think Dave's right. I think it's more about the stadium than it is about the atmosphere. I've been to Spurs. I've been to Arsenal. I've been to a few grounds, and you can sit there and there's a good reason why Arsenal's called the library, because fuck me, they do not sing.
Is this a problem, Stel? Is this a problem?
I'll give you an example of Arsenal. We played them in the. I think there was a League Cup game. It was getting towards Christmas about 4 or 5 years ago, and we were shit. It had been terrible. Left 10, 15 minutes towards the end of the game. No chance of coming back into the game. Walked outside the ground. There was more Arsenal fans leaving the stadium when they're winning than there was West Ham fans.
Yeah,
and
that sums them up as a club.
Yeah.
Do you know,
it's interesting because we get accused of having tourist fans, but there's a lot of fans that go to Spurs and Arsenal, etc., Chelsea and so on, who are quite the same. You know, they go because it's
word investing our base.
And I'm with you, Dave. I don't think we deserve. I think it's on reputation of the stadium rather than the actual atmosphere.
Yeah, it's an easy option. It's an easy dig. Yeah. I don't like the stadium. Fuck the atmosphere. You know, just gonna have to dig at West Ham because it's not Upton Park, and away fans love to come into Upton Park.
They do, but Dave, do you think it's more more a case of, especially with top flight football, I think to a degree, it's down to what's happening on the pitch. I think when it's good at West Ham, it's as good as anywhere. I mean, when we have a good atmosphere, if the team are performing and it's great, it's fucking loud. It's probably louder than it ever could have been, before at Upton Park. And I'm not saying it's better than Upton Park because I don't believe that it is. I would go back to Upton Park in a heartbeat. But I think it's the same for most top clubs now. If the team are not playing well, it's going to be the same in the stands. It's going to be quiet. It's going to be quiet if it's not entertaining. Because I think, I think the main problem at West Ham, and I've said this before. My true belief is when we was at Upton Park, I think we felt like we were part of the game because it was more intimate.
You're on top of it. Yeah.
I think we felt like we could affect the game. Like that, the last game at Upton Park, we fucked with David De Gea's head. That was the reason he fucking spilled that ball in the head. We was in his ear hole for the whole game, and that was the reason.
We were actually pretty crap that night.
He was crap.
But we didn't play particularly well that night either.
No.
That was just a perfect storm, though, wasn't it?
But what I'm saying is, I think at the London Stadium, I think it is a typical. It's not typical because it's not a perfect.
It's not a football stadium.
But what I'm saying is, but they're all the same. They're all quite soulless. Yeah. And I think it's now that stadium is a stadium for a big team. And when you go to the London Stadium, you go there to be entertained. You don't go there to be the 12th man. That's personally what
I've been to a few games abroad. In Italy, for example, where you can have they fucking create riots in their stadiums. Some of the clubs, and it doesn't matter. They almost forget what the fuck's going on the pitch. They're just like continuously singing, and I don't think any big club, Premier League club has that anymore. Where I've been to Upton Park where you've had like singing from start to finish, even if we were losing. If the team were showing effort, so I think you're right there, Nick. The team have got to get the crowd going, but at the same time, the crowd need to get the team going as well.
I don't think you can do that as easy at the London Stadium, mate.
I don't know. I think you can. I think we've seen it this season where we've been behind the team. And really sort of created a great atmosphere, but it's the continuity of atmosphere. Like today, fucking hell.
12:30 kickoff.
So was at Old Trafford a few weeks ago, and I've been to Old Trafford. My record at Old Trafford's fucking shocking. We won't go there. But up until they scored, which was literally the last kick of the game, it was muted. There was no noise in there. Now I've been at Old Trafford before when they've gone the goal up early and it's a cauldron. All of a sudden it's noise all game. And that's football. That's football fans for you. And that's not that's not new stadiums. I've been at Upton Park when it's been quiet.
Oh, exactly.
Exactly. But to judge how we're being judged as an atmosphere at the London Stadium is absolute bollocks.
Yeah,
it's absolute nonsense.
I totally agree. So look, let's put. I think we all agree on that one. So let's move on to the next news story. So, are we being cheated? So before today, Newcastle's last two games wins have been dreadful in terms of total time that the ball was in play. Against Villa, the ball was in play for 43 minutes of the 90, and against Everton, it was in play for 45 minutes. Now, there is a table that I haven't got to share with you, but just remember this, right? Top of the league is Man City, where the ball is in play for 60 minutes of the game. We're on 55 minutes. So it shows you Newcastle at 43 minutes and 45 minutes for the last two games, where they are in the scheme of things. It reminds you, as you said earlier, Stel, the Brentford home game where they went 1-0 up and wasted time. And we saw the dark arts today. The slightest touch, they go down. Even if there's no touch, they go down, and you have to wait for the physio to come on to sort them out, and then they slowly walk off. They fail to catch a ball that's thrown to them by the opposition. They deliberately trigger an intervention, like when Holberg, for instance, had a go at Harrison Ashby for no reason whatsoever, but the referee had to intervene, and it lasted a couple of minutes, for Spurs. And Newcastle players today, a couple of them, they just randomly sat down, pretended to be injured. And the refs just fall for it all the time. Now, we're being mugged out. It's not cheap to go football, right? Especially these days. It's not cheap to go football. It's cheaper for us than many. But we're being mugged. Half the money we pay to watch football is being taken away from us.
They
by
should
these
do-
teams that are being allowed to get
Would
away
you
with it.
think that if we were in, swap the positions, if it was our players doing that,
I don't think our players do that.
1-0 lead.
No,
We don't do it.
I don't think we. I don't think we do it, and it's not being Claret and Blue tinted glasses. I don't think we're that sort of team. We've had a couple of teams, but there's another team that played us a couple of weeks ago that kept going, like taking forever to do stuff.
Southampton do it all the time.
Do you know what? Go back to the Arsenal game just before Christmas.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
They rolled a
Pulled him
player
off-
back,
yeah, rolled him back on the
onto
pitch.
Back onto the pitch.
Yeah.
I think we should do a rule where, I think, is it American football where when it goes out of touch, the clock stops?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
agree.
genuinely do.
Yeah.
And if it means the game lasting 2.5 hours, then so be it. Or do something, do something different. But
What you're going to get the argument there is what about
play.
people with travel?
There was a Newcastle player who went off the pitch in the second half today,
I saw that.
And they
were screaming to get the game stopped.
Yeah.
No, but then someone said, "No, he's off the pitch."
No,
carry on.
I agree, Mike. But that is the attitude now of players, managers, is like, if you can kill any time, especially when you're under pressure, fucking do it.
But the other thing about this time wasting is it breaks our momentum. Because
Exactly.
what teams have when you talk about teams sussing us out, one of the things they've sussed us out about is early season we were playing fast moving football, free flowing football, and teams weren't managing to keep up with that. The way to stop us now, if they're not technically gifted enough to stop us, they fucking time waste. They get that little nick, that little tackle, that little, going down, pretending that they're injured and all that sort of stuff. It means we're stop, start. That's not our game. And the reason why, and it frustrated me today, the reason why we keep had to play it backwards is because every foul that happened, they were back in line again. So we had to start breaking them down again, and then went another foul, and we had to start again.
Ryan Fraser's tackle that he got booked for is a prime example of why we need to adopt some little things from America. A sin bin. That's a cynical foul. That's so cynical. That's so cynical. It's not a red card. It's not a red card. It's not a red card.
Yeah.
But you should be going, right, that's a 5-minute sin bin. Because that's so cynical. It's a team's breaking is an absolute deliberate foul to break up an attacking opportunity.
Actually, you injured yourself doing it as well, you prick.
Yeah, well, I don't mind that, and I wouldn't mind it if it was our players doing it at times either. It doesn't. I'm not wholly against it. You've got to do what you've got to do on a football pitch at times. But
the thing is, it was.
There has to be a punishment to fit the crime. It's not a red card. But
the thing is,
Moyes, it's not a yellow. It's got to be somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
The reason why we don't do it, and it isn't because we're West Ham fans saying we don't do it, is because Moyes won't have that time. He's an honest manager. He doesn't want players. The number of times a player's been fouled in the area, and our player tries to play on. And any other team we play, the slightest of touches, they'll go down and look for a penalty. We don't play that way. The only person I've seen do that under Moyes so far was Yarmolenko against Kidderminster when he dived in the area. But
Blasic has a tendency as well.
I don't know. Does he? Does he?
He's good at it as well.
Yeah, no, he did it. He did it once, didn't he, Nick? He did it once. Blasic.
We can go back 30 years and look at videos of Trevor Morley.
He loved the free kick, didn't he?
Ragdoll. But, players do it. It's an art. There's an art of winning free kicks and winning penalties. There's also blatant fucking cheating.
Yeah,
and there is a difference.
And the time wasting is a form of cheating.
Yeah,
time wasting is a form of cheating. Yeah,
it absolutely is. And that's the thing. Yeah. Nice guys finished last. Well, yeah, you say that, but you don't see this necessarily from the top sides. All right, they've got all the players and they want to get forward and score more goals, right? So there is that to it. These are sides who are trying to grind out results, like Newcastle's the day, like Leeds, like Brentford. You know, they don't want to go toe to toe with us. They want to break us down, and they want to stop us playing. So I that's the way I saw it. Newcastle did that in the second half today when we were right on top. The first thing they did was the guy went down, and then we had to wait for 2 physios to walk slowly across the pitch. And then I don't know if you noticed, but when that guy was ready to, you know, he struggled to his feet, they took the long route off the pitch.
Yeah.
And that's not the way it's supposed to work these days. That's supposed to walk straight. And there was another guy who fell onto the pitch, right? He went down and fell onto the pitch. Yeah.
Alex is spot on. It's elite sport. You do what you do to get the points, and it's not just football. It's all sport now. Any opportunity to get a little bit of an advantage, you know. And
I don't know. I think going back to the theme, I think us as football supporters, we're having, you know, we're not watching much football. We're watching 50%. The ball's in play 50% of the time. Very expensive game to go and watch. You know, you go and watch a game at Spurs, cost you 400 quid for the worst ticket, right? Yeah. To, you know, or whatever it is. It's really expensive anyway. Imagine going along there and the ball's only in play for 50% of the time. I mean, it's just madness. I don't know how they're getting away with it.
It's brilliant.
Well, I don't know how they're getting away with it. I agree with a big clock. Have the big clock like they do in NFL and everything else. Have the big clock in the stadium and just stop it. And rugby, they've got it going in rugby. It works perfectly.
Do it.
You know, just do it.
Yeah.
You'll soon see teams staying on their feet, you know, when you do that.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I like about rugby as well is the way that at the end, there's no end, is there? The game only ends when the ball goes out of play.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that rule. It can go on for an extra 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So anyway, look, let's move on to the next one. This one's going to be quite how can I say? Probably roll you up a little bit, I hope. So, according to the Sun, West Ham fans are vile because they sung they sung a jokey song about Kurt Zouma. Yes.
Don't do ourselves any favours.
Hang on a minute, Mike. The rag who started the Zouma story tried to keep it alive for another few days by turning its sad little guns on us as fans. As expected, Simon Jordan and Jim White from TalkSport joined in. Even Aston Villa fan and alleged comedian Adil Ray from Good Morning Britain tweeted about us just one word: vile. I don't know if it was one of Adil's poor jokes. I couldn't tell, but to be honest, I'd find it strange if our crowd didn't take the piss a little bit out of something like this. It's self-deprecating. It's gallows humour because we all know this is so West Ham, right? Today we had booing from Newcastle before they invented that song later in the game. We had booing from Newcastle every time Zouma touched the ball, even in the warm-up, while boasting about their newfound Saudi wealth all over social media. They failed to spot the irony. So what do you think? You know, I personally, I'll give my own opinion on this. I think I was at Leicester and people were just having a good time. They'd had a drink. They were having a little sing. There was nothing malicious about it. They weren't vindicating animal cruelty, right? It's just football supporters singing a song. That's all it is. Still.
Yeah, same, mate. I was at the game and as soon as the fans started singing it, I started laughing. Because we're just taking the piss out of the situation. No one's fucking condoning.
That is all it is.
Sort of hurting animals. No one's condoning. It's banter. Yeah. All it is banter.
See that.
That is all it is.
Do you know?
Who's they in an ivory
general public?
In an ivory tower.
Greater general public. In a nutshell, the general public are cunts. They are.
No, you're right. You're right. Do you know what? You're spot on.
But I'm sorry. They are looking for any excuse to have a go at us now. So us doing that is just going to say, well, they don't give a fucking shit.
But they would do every other club would do it.
I don't know the ins and outs of this thing. The Daily Mail will pounce on it.
Well, they have. They have pounced on it, and and they made a song and dance about it, and and they to be called vile for.
It's a non-story.
It's a non-story.
It's a non-story. Yeah, it's a non-story. Well, I don't give it. I've heard a lot more vile at football grounds than I have.
But all that is the way I see that. Do you know what? They're not condoning. we're no West Ham fan is condoning what happened there. All we're doing is like, do you know something? Is it just an East London thing? We take the piss out of everything. We're not. We're like I say, it's not condoning it. We're just trying to sort of take a light-hearted view at it.
It is gallows humour.
It.
I totally agree with gallows
We're
humour.
taking it.
What do we sing about us? You know, West Ham.
With West Ham United, we're taking the piss.
Exactly. You know, and that's exactly it. We will be light-hearted about most situations. You know, and there's not that, you know, they're just trying to find a story that, as you said, Dave, that it's a non-story. It's pointless.
It really,
you know,
is.
It's
It
funny
really
to me.
There's people coming out, jumping on the bandwagon, having a dig at us.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Dave. It's funny you should say that, because one person who jumped on the bandwagon today was Stan Collymore.
Give us a Collymore.
People in glass houses.
Let me read it out, right? Stan Collymore tweeted after the game, Craig Dawson complained to the referee during the game between West Ham and Newcastle because Chris Wood kept on saying meow to Kurt Zouma. And one of my favourite Twitterers, he replied to him and said, imagine what he'd have said if one of his club owners had ordered the dismemberment of a journalist. Oh, right. And then there was several comments about, you know, some Swedish woman, right?
Yeah.
But Gary, with all due respect, though, but with all due respect, Chris Wood, right? If Chris Wood is doing that, that's fine. That's it.
Yeah, I've got no issue with that. I think I don't for 1 minute think Craig Dawson was running up to the referee going, he's meowing because the ref's going to go.
That's funny, isn't it?
You fucking bellend.
Yeah, I know.
That never happened. Never happened.
No, I know it didn't. And but that is Stan Collymore, the former wife beater or girlfriend beater. Getting active on Twitter and trying to make Kurt Zouma make light of Kurt Zouma's issues. It's really been outstanding for me. The people who have got those sort of checkered backgrounds who now work in the media, who have been jumping up and down on this bandwagon for the last couple of weeks now, they need to quit.
Can we name them?
Yeah, no, they really do. They really do. They're fucking idiots.
Right. So look,
name them all.
Now I've got you stirred up, right? I'm going to move on to a little fun section, right? Now this is completely made up, right? And by completely made up, I mean it was on the Hammers News website, right? It was a clickbait story. This week they had a headline that said West Ham team make vow, right? And okay, I thought I'll click it, and so I did. And it was a quote from Declan Rice to Sky Sports saying the team had a meeting after the Leicester game to clear the air. How that narrative was extended into the team making vows to each other, I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, look, it's a fun game. So the team, let's just imagine the team after the Leicester game, they made vows to each other. Right. So I want you to imagine what those vows would be. So I thought of a few. Now, Bowen vowed to continue shagging Danny Dyer, right? Zouma vowed to stay away from cats, especially when someone's got a phone. Krell vowed to get on the first plane home. So I'm going to go round to you and give you a little chance. What will your vows be? So let's go to you, Nick. What would your vows be? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
You muted yourself, mate.
Four now to not have another baby. That'd be a good one because it's fucking really messed with him. This has until he's retired. No more kids. No more kids.
Yeah,
that'd be a good one.
Still.
Oh God, Fabianski vowed to start controlling his 6-yard box.
Oh, that's a serious one. That's kind of a passive-aggressive vow. That is. Go on, Dave.
Arthur to never give the ball away.
That will never happen. Fuck me. Fucking Arthur. I can't even fucking blame Arthur for our performances at the moment, can I?
Still loves Arthur.
Fucking hell.
Still loves him.
God. He never gives
worst
the ball
player
away.
to ever worn the West Ham shirt. Worse, but a long time ago.
Soucek has vowed to earn 125 grand a week.
My vow was never to watch another lunchtime kickoff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that won't happen.
They're terrible, aren't they? They're terrible. They're the worst. Right. So that's it. No more vows. So Nick, we move on.
Okay, well, this is the last feature. We're going to move on to. This is basically, like I said, it's a collaborative.
Oh, hello.
What happened there? We got.
Is he having a shave?
Not me.
That must
Not
be
me.
you, Nick. Nick, go on mute. Yeah, he's lost his audio. Fuck's sake, Nick. Nick, leave and come back in.
Want to go and grab a drink?
Yeah, thank God for that. He's buzzing. He's buzzing. He's literally buzzing.
He's
actually
buzzing.
buzzing.
Right.
I'm loving Dave's.
Hey, he's
phone
back.
noise.
He's back.
Is that any
Yeah.
better? Can you hear me
That-
now?
Yeah.
You're fine now. You're fine.
Okay, right. We're going to do it's going to be a collaborative effort, right? So we're each going to have a go because Moyes has only got one plan.
The
He's only got one way
co-creation
of
session.
playing. So it's a co-creation, it's a collaboration session. So
Yeah.
we'll start with Stelios. Stelios,
Hurrah.
you've got the stage, right? You're the manager, okay? Now with the players available, well, only the players, and unfortunately, all the under 23s who I know you love are not on this slide. This is your attempt. So we're going to basically get rid of. Fuck off, Moyes. Go away.
That's a big Moyes.
We're going to get rid of Moyes. And this is going to be Stel's system, the Stelios system.
So you're telling me to pick a team and a
Pick a
formation?
team and a shape and a way of playing.
All right, I would go with 4-4-1-1. Hang on,
Okay.
have I got the players? Hang on, have I got the players here to do a 4-4-1-1? Let me see.
Is that all the players we've got?
So obviously, I'm assuming Diop's out, isn't he? So Diop's over there. Fredericks is out.
I'd start with Ben at the back, along with the other three. I'd actually put Areola in goal, mate.
Well, I haven't got him, but we'll just pretend that Fabianski is Areola.
We'll pretend Fabianski's Areola.
Yeah,
I know you won't want to, but I will keep Soucek and Declan in the
that's
middle.
fine. This is your team. It's your team.
God, well, I haven't got a lot to choose from, have I? Really? Goodness me, what's going to make a difference? What is going to make a difference? I'll take Antonio out the firing line. I've been saying it. So
Stick
move
Diop
him out.
up front.
He's out. Okay.
Go on, go on, stick Diop up front. You want to?
I would actually put Vlasic in the middle. I would put a false no number 9. Put Bowen out where he is. Fornals and Vlasic in the middle, and Bowen kind of the attacking player. And see what happens when you put Vlasic in.
So
that mix.
Benrahma out.
No, Benrahma there. Keep Benrahma. Take Lanzini out.
Yeah.
And bring Vlasic in to play alongside. So it's almost like a 4-2-2-2, almost.
Okay.
Now, will that make much difference? I don't know.
So you're going to bring them back a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're doing that to a degree.
So you've all, 4-2-4.
Wow.
4-2-4.
It's a very Man City way of playing.
Yeah, 4-2-4. With probably of the 4 up there, the only person sort of dropping a little bit to cover the midfield will be Fornals because he's got the legs for it.
Yeah. Okay. No. Well, do you know what? I wouldn't say no. I mean, they are. Do you know what I like about that? Still, is you've got Fornals. I would have Lanzini in there somehow. I don't probably instead of Vlasic.
Okay.
But what that gives you is because, like I said, one of the most exciting things that I saw today was in that first half. We played a bit of football. It was Rice to Fornals, slide rule pass through to Bowen. Sorry, not Bowen. Through to Benrahma. Benrahma slipped Bowen in behind target. Right, very basic, straight through the middle of the team, and we don't do that enough. You know, there's not enough quick interchanging, and I think a lot of that comes from as good as Deck is at driving the ball forward. And Soucek is fucking useless at anything to do with the ball. He is, let's be honest. He's good at breaking up play. We don't have enough footballers in the team.
Yeah.
And I do like the idea, and that's what I'm saying to you. Sometimes when Moyes makes changes, especially like today where Soucek's playing bad and we're chasing the goal, I would take Soucek off and I would have more footballers on the pitch.
You know what?
You want to pick passes.
With you having said that, change the formation slightly and play it a 4-3-3. So bring Fornals in alongside Soucek and Declan.
In the middle.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's what
and
I'd
then
go for.
the three
That's
up
what
the
I'd
front.
Yeah, I like
Because that way, you've got what you've just said, Nick. You've got the players in there. You know, when you got 4 players who can play football and pass to each other, then what you need is, you know, the likes of Soucek and Declan to keep it solid in the middle.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they have to be defensive midfielders, but they can keep it solid in the middle and let those guys ahead of them do the flair work. Now, I think that's what I was saying earlier about Benrahma. All of a sudden, you might see a different Benrahma being given that kind of freedom.
Yeah.
You know,
And do you know what you've got in this system as well? In the second half, if it ain't working, you've got Antonio on the bench.
you can change it. Exactly.
You've got Lanzini that you can bring on. There are things that Moyes can do. There's things that Moyes can do. So yeah, that's fine. So Stell, are you happy with your system?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. Right, we'll go to Dave next. So this is going to be Dave's system. The Davino system. There we go.
Davino.
There we go.
Oh, I'm under pressure with that, aren't I?
Right, there we go. So what are you thinking at the moment? With a back four? Are you happy with a back four? Would you play? Would you even play a back four?
I'm with the players we've got available at the moment. Yeah, I think I would. I'll stick with Fab in goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got no issue with that back four. Lanzini comes in.
Yeah. Who for?
Benrahma.
Okay. What, same sort of shape, or would you change shape?
No. So Lanzini comes into the middle.
Yeah, I like that as well. That'd be interesting, that, because then what you've got is, actually, generally what you would have is you have Rice on the left, didn't you?
Yeah.
So Rice should give you cover. This is what I don't understand sometimes with four.
I'm kind of going 4-1-2-3. So
who's the one?
I'm putting Declan Rice back into defensive midfield.
That's fine.
Allowing Soucek to bomb on and be the player that we signed.
So you're going 4-1, and you said a 3.
Yeah, but I'm still going with Antonio.
Yeah,
ahead of Vlasic.
That's Antonio. So you're going. Where are we here? So you got. So that's a 4. So you basically what you've got is you've got Deck as. The thing is, and Deck can play that role as well, because what he can do is he can.
I just think we need to return. In my opinion, go back to a little bit of basics.
Yeah.
From last season. And as much as I agree with you, Nick, that he is our most progressive player, certainly from midfield.
Yeah.
It doesn't make us a better team.
No.
And regardless, if he's going to leave in the summer.
But Dave, can I ask you, are you doing that so that Soucek excels, or are you doing that because you think it's the best for the actual team?
For the team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's all for the good of the team. If I want, if it's about it being personal, I'll make sure that Declan Rice was playing wherever he wanted to play.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think that's good though, because
I would sacrifice someone else, but that team for me, you know, in my opinion, Declan's going to sweep in front of a back four.
Yeah.
We've got Lanzini, who is notorious for keeping the ball for us.
Yeah.
So it would allow Soucek to get in the box late and get on the end of things. I know we talked about the stats earlier that he's had X amount of shots, but
yeah,
there's obviously a confidence crisis with him at the moment.
Yeah.
I would, and that front three, I would say, look, fucking do what you want. If you want to, Bowen, if you want to go central and Antonio wants to go left and Fornals wants to go right, then let's do that, because that's what we were good at last year. We were fluid up front. We didn't go right. That's stay in your positions.
But Dave, look at this team, right? You've got Rice in the middle, right? You've got him dictating play, which he can do. He can spray the ball. He can clean up. You've got Lanzini. You've got Fornals. You've got Bowen. You've got footballers in that team.
But he doesn't want to do that.
And a lot of them.
No. But this is not about him, Mike. This is a question about what we want to do.
Yeah.
And I would. It's only an opinion. It doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. That would be my side with what we've got available at the moment.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that.
So you're just
Okay.
making a slight, using the same players that Moyes would use, but you're just making a slight tactical switch.
Yeah.
You know, and that makes sense.
Okay. Right. Let's go. So are you happy with that, Dave?
I'm never happy.
Right.
The Father Jack system. 3 at the
There we
back,
go.
straight away.
3 at the back. So who's your 3 at the back?
Goalkeeper is definitely Areola.
Yeah, that's fine. So Fab, sure, Areola. Go on. Who's right centre back?
Right centre back is Dawson. With what we've got now, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Zuma in the middle.
Zuma in the middle.
Rice on the left.
Yeah.
Put Soucek where Rice is.
Yeah.
Okay. Johnson there.
Johnson is as right wing back, yeah?
Yeah. Johnson right wing back. Yep.
Yeah.
So, Rice.
Before now,
Well, take Antonio out straight away.
Yeah.
Put Jared Bowen up front.
Yeah.
And
Fornals can't be a wing back though. So who's
I'm
your
not
wing
going to
back?
put Fornals at a wing back. I'm looking at the wing backs available. I will put Fredericks left wing back.
Ooh,
Blimey.
Jesus.
See if Masuaku's fit,
If Masuaku's there, he's in. Okay?
He plays, yeah.
So is that a 3, 1, 2? That's about it, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. No, do you know what? That's fine. I think that works well. And like I say, again, you've got. I'm worried about the left hand side. I would rather have Fredericks.
It's only because that he's the only one available.
See, in this position here, if you ask me to choose in a wing back system between Fredericks and
We'll
Johnson,
swap them over then. Swap right and left. Swap
yeah,
them over.
I would put Fredericks on the right because he's bad enough on the fucking right without putting him on the left.
Yeah, it's the only role
I think he's a good wing back. I think he'd be a fucking good.
No, he is. No, Fredericks is. Fredericks is.
I think that role would suit Soufal more because his defensive duties are less. He's got a very good cross on him.
Yeah,
it's not all about pace. No, but it's not all about pace. He's a better footballer than Fredericks. I'm not poo-pooing your team, by the way, Mike. I'm just saying that's
no.
If I was to change one player, I like 3-5. I like.
Have I taken too many players out?
No, it's a good point from Glenn. There's not enough players on the pitch.
8, 9, 10. There's one more. Yeah, Mike, you can have one more player.
No, chuck a few more in. Put Antonio, Benrahma, and Fornals on.
Right.
So you need number 10. So basically, you got room for number 10.
2 up front.
Oh, right. No, I'm
going to put Antonio up, 2 up front.
See, no, do you know what? I like that. I like that. Now I'm looking at that. I like it. Cheers, Glenn.
That's what Antonio needs. He needs another person up front.
And I'll tell you what, this is what we're doing so far is we're suggesting alternative systems that David Moyes could play with the same set of players, which is he seems to think that he's only got the one system available to him. He doesn't.
I know.
But only worry with that side would be our width is. There's not much.
But I think our width is a problem at the moment because I think we rely on it too much and it ain't good enough. So our current we work to get the ball out to the flanks, but I don't think for a start our wingers Bowen and Fornals they're inverted. They're not wingers. So when they run down, they're always on their weaker foot. They're not going to be whipping balls in. You're relying on either Cresswell to get up the pitch and get a ball in. So or Soufal. So where's your supply coming from? So I think something like this where you've got. And like I said, in the first half today, when we was at our most effective, we was passing through the lines. We was cutting through them with through balls and stuff like that. Yeah. And if you've got, like I say, you've got Lanzini, you've got Rice and Soucek, and like I say, in that system now, see, it does depend what sort of role you play. I mean, I'll be honest with you, you know what I'm going to do, but that is good. I like that. That is a good system. The only problem that I've got is that we're playing a non-naturally left-sided player on the left. But
true,
Johnson's not as good on the left as he is on the right.
But if Arthur was there, then he'd be a good wing back.
Perfect. Yeah. Absolutely.
Imagine Arthur and Frederick starting in the same game.
Yeah, but they're
No.
not
Yeah, but
defending,
yeah, but-
are they? They're pushing forward.
Yeah, but they're pushing forward, Dave.
It's just an opinion. It would worry the fucking shit out of me having.
It
both
worry
of
the
them.
shit out of me. I don't know about
Yeah.
worrying the shit out of anyone else.
But Dave, like Fredericks, I know as bad as he is defensively, he's had some good moments. I mean, like, do you remember the Man United game when we was away against them for that 10 minutes? Fredericks can be fucking lethal going forward, just because of his pace. Because I don't think he's like Usain Bolt. I think once he gets going, you're right. He's a shocking defender.
Usain Bolt was the best in what he did.
Yeah.
to compare.
But Usain Bolt played football as well.
Yeah. No, I know.
Better than Ryan Fredericks.
Right, Mike, are you happy with your system?
I am very happy with that.
Right, and this one we're just going to call this the Gary.
The Gary. I do get called the Gary, actually.
The Gary. It's a dying name, mate.
So,
It is.
well, no, it'll be back. It'll be back in 20 years. So,
Right, go on,
so listen, right? I'm gonna. You want blue sky thinking, right? Because this is co-creation, right? So,
Yeah.
I would possibly, looking at all the players we've got available, I would play a back three. If it's an alternative system, I would play a back three, right? So I'd take those three. That back three is absolutely fine. And then on the right, as a wing back, I'd play Ashby.
Ooh.
I haven't got him, but Fredericks can be Ashby. That's fine.
It could be Ashby.
I'll tell you what, just to avoid confusion, I'll put Vlasic in there just to make it more confusing.
Yeah, and I would stick with Johnson. Because I think Ashby gets forward well. He gets forward really well. I like him. Got a good cross in him as well. I think Johnson on the left is sort of all right, only because I can't think of anybody else, right?
No.
Now,
Longello? What about Longello?
Yeah,
Not better. He ain't going to be better than Johnson, is he? Let's face it. He's not.
No, not at the moment. I mean, they don't think he's ready. So, you know.
Yeah.
So this is a 5-3-2 that you've got here. What I'd like to do, and this is just me, you know, thinking of something here. What I'd like to see us an alternative system be able to play a false nine, as in no striker, right? But I'd like to see Bowen played on the left and Antonio played on the right of a front three. Now it doesn't quite work, right? It doesn't quite work. But I'd like to see Antonio put in his natural right position.
So
I'd like to see
natural foot.
I'd like to see Antonio on his natural wide right position and Bowen on his natural left-sided position out wide. I'm not a big fan of the inverted wingers, even though every manager plays them. I'd like to see Bowen. Yeah, well, I'd like to see. So I don't know who I'd lose in midfield. I think probably with this system, you probably have to lose. You have to move Lanzini up front to play in the middle of those two, right? And then you move Deck alongside Soucek.
See, that's the thing with playing 3-5-2 or 5-3-2.
Yeah.
You're going to lose one of, we talked at the beginning of all this about, having ball carriers, but, technical players, etc. But by having 5 defenders, you're going to lose.
What this would be though, what this would be though, if you're defending, Lanzini would be part of a 3. If you're attacking, Lanzini would move forward and be part of the front 3. That's what I'm thinking. This probably wouldn't work, but it's just I'm trying to come up with an idea.
I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I mean, do you know what would work in this situation here? For instance, and this is why we don't play through the lines, because what we did today, where you play through a team and you play through balls, the reason we don't do that is because Bowen did very well on his weaker foot, on his right foot. Yeah. But the reason we don't do that is because, do you know what? The wide players that are going in, if it's Fornals or Bowen, when you play a ball centrally out to that position, it's on their fucking weak foot.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were to play them on their strongest side, then playing through the middle of the team works. Because when you slip a ball through to Antonio on that right hand side, it's landing on his right foot. Same with Bowen. It's landing on his stronger foot.
And this formation would allow Bowen and Antonio the luxury of not constantly tracking up and down the fucking length of the pitch. Yeah. Right. So, and I'd like to see that. Because I think it kind of takes a gloss off of Bowen's game a little bit, having to do that.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Are you happy with that, Gary?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm happy with it. I'm saying it's just it's an idea, it's a concept.
I'm happy with it being called the Gary.
Yeah, it's a concept. So I'm not sure how strong it would be.
The Gary.
But I was trying to come up with something that was different to all the others. So that's what I did.
Right, the master plan.
Right.
Plan.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's even better.
Yeah, here we go.
Don't get
Right.
Dave started on Oasis.
Right, I'm also going to go for Areola in goal.
Yeah.
Yay.
Not because I've got anything against Fabs, but because I just want to sort of play out from the back. And I'm going to be really outrageous, right? And I'm taking Dawson out.
Ooh.
Fuck off.
I am. I'm putting Zuma on the right side of centre back. I'm putting where are you? Diop after his performance there, and I would
Yay.
So you've got the French triangle, right? That we saw against Kidderminster. It was so effective.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so
Fuck
good.
me, it
Perfect.
was really shit.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
God.
That's what
So
I'm doing.
effective.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going
One
Johnson.
view.
Oh, sorry. I'm going Johnson at right back. Okay. Vlasic, fuck off. Okay. He's gone. Okay, right. So he's gone. Then what I'm doing, Soucek, get out, mate. Right, he's gone as well. I'm going to put Declan Rice as a centre pivot, but I'm going to have in front of him Fornals, and I'm going to have Lanzini. I'm going to have them two right in the middle, and then do you know what I'm going to do? I am going to do that. So for me, you've got these players that are almost going to be wide, so it's almost like a 3.
Yeah.
So it's a 4-3, and I'm missing a player
Missing
as
a
well.
player.
4, 5. So 1 minute, and who do I want in? I had this all worked out earlier on, right? And I'm going to be controversial.
Just playing with 9 men.
Player who I do slate off.
Yes.
Because
Right.
you're playing him in a more attack-minded role.
Yeah, exactly the
Fine.
position he needs.
Right,
to be
so
playing.
Declan Rice, your job at the back, because you haven't, and the reason I'm saying this in this situation here is because Declan Rice has got better attacking players in front of him. So these players are better at attacking than Declan Rice. Yes, Declan Rice can carry the ball, but Declan Rice against Soucek, no, I'm sorry, that's not the case. But what you've got here, you've got Lanzini and Fornals who are forward-thinking players. They've got, they pick the ball up. They've got good ball retention. Give it to Benrahma in the central area. I worry about him. I would probably I would toggle between him and Vlasic depending on how they did. What worries me about Benrahma is he doesn't move the ball quick enough. He doesn't. He holds on
I
to the
think
ball.
in that position, I think he would excel.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing here, Nick, because we've been having debates for the last couple of weeks about, I've been saying that for the good of the team, as others have said, that Declan should play a more defensive-minded midfield role. And it's interesting that you put him there. It doesn't matter whether Soucek's in there or not.
No. Still, you misunderstand me. What it is?
Oh, do I?
No. You misunderstand.
Man City beat that team.
No,
6-7-0.
Yeah, let me explain. Right, Soucek. When you put Soucek in the middle, Soucek has got no fucking. So if you take Fornals out, Soucek has got no technical ability whatsoever. None. He can't pass the ball.
But that doesn't make, because the discussion you and I have been having is that you would rather give Declan a free role in the team and let him run wherever. And I've been arguing for the good of the team, as been said earlier on, is that if Declan is that pivot, that means that the players ahead of him can be more attack-minded.
But listen. The way that football works, okay, right? Because I've done my level 1 coaching badge, right? Right. I do manage kids' football.
Fuck me, you're the new Ted Lasso. I didn't realise that.
Yeah. No, but look, essentially, look, what I'm saying is, if you play these 2 deep,
It's a good series, to be fair.
Yeah, but if you play these 2 deep, basically what you have to do, the job here is to knit defence to attack. Soucek doesn't knit fuck all. He couldn't knit anything, right? He can't knit anything. He's a blocker. So the only person that you've got deep that can basically how we play at the minute. Let me show you how we set up at the minute. So Bowen goes on the right. You got Antonio up front, right? This is my gripe. You got Bowen out wide. You got Antonio up front. You got Fornals. Where are you? Fornals left. Now, that is how it looks when you look at a formation planner at the moment. So that's our team, isn't it, at the moment? Yeah? You happy with that? Well, no, it's not. Normally, it's fucking Soucek on the right-hand side. So you got him. But the issue that you've got is when we're playing without possession, right, this is the situation that we've got. You've got Fornals back here, you've got Bowen back here, and you've probably got Lanzini in here, or he's occupied by defenders. Now, what happens is we break up play. Soucek, for instance, today, Gary, you saw it. When we was forward, right? Gary, Rice broke on the right-hand side. He fed the ball to Soucek. Soucek went forward. Where did Soucek pass the ball, Gary?
Backwards.
Do you remember?
Backwards,
He reversed the ball back to Kurt Zuma about 30 yards backwards down the pitch.
Yeah, I said he ran 10 yards forward and passed 20 yards back.
That's what he did. So that's what Zuma did. Now, Declan Rice gets this ball here. He's got no out ball because Antonio is occupied by two defenders. He's got no out ball here because Lanzini, all the opposition have got to do is pick him up. So what does Rice do here? He gets the ball. His wide players are back. So Declan Rice drives the ball up the pitch. That's been so critical to what we've done this year. It's been so critical. And it's something that Soucek couldn't do if he fucking wanted to. He couldn't do that job. No, Soucek can't drive the ball forward. So what happens then is Rice drives the ball up. Fornals gets up. Bowen gets up. We're on the attack. We're on the front foot. Basically, the only other thing that he can do there is hoof a ball to Antonio, who couldn't trap a fucking bag of cement at the minute. And then it's just going to come back at us. So you can't say at the moment, in this situation here, that Declan Rice has to hold because his midfield partner is a fucking duffer.
Okay.
He can't do anything.
So what you're talking, I mean, we're all talking similar tactics, but you're just picking different players to play the tactics.
Yeah, but
you know, because I've been saying, I think for the good of the team, Declan should be more holding midfield than driving forward. Who you have ahead, whether it's Soucek. Yeah, who you have ahead, whether it's Soucek or not.
Soucek is not an attacking midfielder still. He's
right. No, but what I'm saying is you can put the more attacking midfielders there and play that system. That's fine. You know, and if you argue it that way, then you and I have been saying much the same thing for a while.
Yes.
Give Declan the pivot in front of the back four, and then, you know, have your attacking players further forward because he can thread the ball through to players who have got the technical ability to be able to carry the ball forward.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And what made me laugh the other day, we was having this argument, and it was like, if Declan Rice goes to Man City and he's alongside Kevin De Bruyne, Declan Rice is going to play a holding role. Well, of course he fucking is.
Well, he will. Yeah. Anywhere he goes, he'll play a holding midfield role.
30 now. He replaced De Bruyne.
I know, but for me, like I say, if I had my way, it would be him in the middle. You'd probably play Fornals on the left side.
Master plan.
Yes, yeah. Fornals. I can't even remember what I said now. So my master plan's fucked.
But the point you're making, mate, is five of us have given five different ways of being able to play, whereas Moyes plays.
You didn't have Fornals in the team. You had.
I can't remember what I did now. But anyway,
I think you had 3 Souceks up front or something like that.
No, I didn't. Yeah. I didn't. No. But that is all it is, and that is my main grizzle. And do you know something? And it comes across as though I hate. And do you know something? How can you hate Soucek? I don't hate him as a person. As a footballer, I think he is so fucking
limited.
He's so basic.
Limited. Yeah, you're right. That's what he is, Mike. Mike, you bang on. Is limited.
He's limited.
It doesn't make him bad.
I don't hate him as a person.
What happened was he burst onto the scene like a fucking superstar, and that's what everyone thinks.
You see it every year. Other clubs have had exactly the fucking same thing. This ain't new.
Bowen did not burst on the scene. See, he came under the radar.
Yeah.
And he really did, to be fair, because Moyes kept swapping him in and out. And then he scored against Southampton, and then his flavour of the month. Soon as fucking Jesse Lingard came in, that was it. There's your favourite. That was your favourite, Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, but he was fucking brilliant for us.
He was brilliant, but he didn't have to do anything to do Moyes' favour, did he?
But talking about a false 9 system, right?
Yeah.
Talking about a false 9 system. So you've got your outside wingers. Now, this is me talking about not wingers that are going to be cutting inside. This is me talking about playing football through the middle of the park because you've got 4 footballers in the middle. You've got a diamond.
What? So you're
You've got
putting a
someone
left-footed winger on the left-hand side?
Yeah, I know.
You're
but it's balmy,
crazy.
innit? It's
You are
balmy.
mental.
It's balmy. And then what you've got is you've got him putting balls into the box, and you've got Antonio arriving late like he used to. Do you remember what
Rubbish.
Antonio used to do?
Never work.
But yeah, so and like I say, it's almost like a false 9 system. I'd rather have a number 9. But
Is that
a
Haller?
false 9 system would work. Yeah.
Is that Haller?
But Antonio is not. He's not a striker. We've all
He
said
doesn't
that.
think in a striker's way. Yeah.
No, and like I say, in this system here, both Bowen and Antonio, if you're slipping balls through for those players to run in beyond centre backs and beyond fullbacks, I think it'd be more effective. I'm not saying look. None of us know more than Moyes. We don't.
I think we've done well here. I think this has been a proper co-creation session. This has got elements of all of our different plans. I quite like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
So are you all happy with?
So who's going to give Moyes the phone call to tell him what to do?
It's down to you. Down to you, Stel.
I'll do it on my
I will.
show then
I'll
the
call
other night.
him. I'll fucking call him out.
That was good. That was
Okay.
fun.
Fucking
That was fun.
substitutions. You stubborn bastard.
Absolutely. Right. Okay. Well, that's brilliant. I think this is long enough. 2 hours and 41 minutes.
Bloody hell, you're trying to beat my record.
I
What's
know.
going on?
Thank you all for joining us, Gary. I'm going to hand over to you. Go on.
Yeah, thanks. Listen, thanks to all of you in the chat for joining us. Thanks for sticking with us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for all your contributions in the chat. Absolutely brilliant. We love reading your comments, so keep them coming. Thank you to Father Jack, Mike Brennan. Thank you, Mike, for joining. Thank you to Dave, as usual, and thanks to Stel for popping in. And
Absolutely. Cheers, Stel.
Cheers, guys.
And that's it. So if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe, and
If you don't
give us a
like
follow.
it, then-
Sorry, 1 minute. I'm all over the place here. I've got things flashing up on my screen. Hang on. So we'll be back next Friday. Sorry, no, I think my machine's about to die. We'll be back next Friday for at the right time on Friday at 9 for the Friday night Claret and Booze up. So please join us then. Until then, see you next time. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons. Cheers, Dave. Cheers, Mike. Cheers, Stel.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Take care, guys.